Express and the Arizona Wranglers will meet for the USFL Western Conference Championship. Both clubs dodged a bullet last week to get here. In round one of the playoffs, LA and Arizona had to come from behind to win in dramatic fashion.
The Houston fans on their feet. That's Ricker in motion. Landry looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona!
This is the give inside again to Gray. Gray, side, he could go! Outside, 5 to the 3. Touchdown, Los Angeles, it's over! Weeks ago, there were 18 teams vying for this trophy and the title it represents. Tonight, one of these clubs will earn the right to play for this trophy. ABC Sports presents the USFL Western Conference Championship game live from Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. Hello again, everybody. I'm Tim Brandt. There are now just 4 teams remaining on the road to Tampa Bay for next week's championship game in Florida. 2 of them are here tonight, Arizona and Los Angeles. Now, when you look at these 2 teams on paper, they are evenly matched. Each ended the regular season with 10-8 records. Each has won 6 of the last 7 ball games. They've played twice already this year, and they split those 2 games. Now, if there is a difference, it is in experience. George Allen's team has time-tested veterans, while Los Angeles has 42 players on the 50-man roster who are first or second-year pros. Working with me again is our analyst and expert commentator, Lee Grosscup. And Cupper, when you look at these 2 teams, you have to say the focal point tonight will be on the 17-year veteran quarterback Greg Landry against the rookie Steve Young.
Tim, this is a wonderful matchup. Steve Young, we've just about used up all the adjectives in describing him, so I think I'll summarize by saying that he is probably the best dual-purpose quarterback that I have ever covered. He is the embodiment of what pro scouts refer to as an impact player, meaning that he can take a team that is a good team and turn it into a winning team in his initial season of professional football, and he has done just that. I think his performance last week against Michigan was one of the most courageous and charismatic that I have ever seen. Now, Greg Landry, what a contrast we have here, because we have a 17-year veteran who's 37 years of age. He has more gray hair, I think, than I do. Despite that, and despite the fact that his passes will wobble and he doesn't have the escape dimension of a Steve Young, this is a guy who is a wily veteran. He knows how to win. He calls most of his own plays. As that cliche goes in professional football, he will find a way to beat you.
If you had to pinpoint one significant segment of this game that'll make a difference tonight, what is it?
I think in terms of segment analysis, you have to look at the offensive line of the Los Angeles Express, which is very young, against that strong and seasoned defensive line of Arizona.
All right, working the sidelines with us again tonight is our colleague, Ted Dawson, and he is dressed appropriately for the heat. Ted?
Thank you very much, Tim. Yes, short sleeves are definitely the uniform of the day here in Tempe, Arizona. You see the thermometer. It's hovering right around 96 degrees. That's down from 108 degrees here on this field this afternoon at 12:30. That, of course, is when the game was supposed to start. You're familiar with the controversy here in Tempe, Arizona. The United States Football League has decided to move the game to this evening because they say to protect the health of the players. It's definitely much cooler here. When you hear it's 96 degrees here, you're going to think, yes, it's very, very hot. But by no means is it a brutal heat down here. It is not brutally hot. There's a very cool wind blowing through here. It is excellent conditions to play football. How will the football players themselves react to it? Well, Arizona's a little older. Los Angeles isn't used to the heat. We'll find out how they go. The LA Express against Arizona. The kickoff coming right up after this.
They have just had the flip of the coin. Los Angeles has won the toss. The captains on the middle of the field: Stan White, Jerry Sullivan, Luther Bradley, Eddie Brown, Greg Landry for Arizona, Jeff Hart, Darrell Patillo, Howard Carson, and Eddie Weaver for Los Angeles, the captains. There is a slight breeze, as Ted Dawson amplified. The weather, in a word, is hot. The word to describe the game time change, better. But since we've arrived in Arizona, the last couple of days, the mercury has huddled and hovered right around 112 degrees. Last night, we had a tremendous storm here at the stadium, knocked over 2 of our cameras. We had a power outage. Half of the city was blacked out. 108 degrees, 12:30 this afternoon. There is 25% of a chance of a storm here this evening. The coaches tonight, quite a story. George Allen, the only coach in pro football history with more than 100 wins without ever having suffered a losing season. This is the 9th time in his 14 seasons as head coach that George has made the playoffs. His record, 5-8. He wants to improve on that here this evening. John Hadel is the coach of the LA Express. In his rookie season as head coach, took this team from a 3-6 start with new players seemingly every week, molded the unit despite pressure from the owner, Bill Oldenburg. He won the division title, certainly a candidate for Coach of the Year. 43 years old. However, he aged quite a bit last week in the 3-overtime game, the longest in history. This is Frank Corral. Out of UCLA, kicked 3 field goals in a 9-0 playoff win when he played for the Rams over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so he has playoff experience. Tony Bodie is the deep back. He'll be along with Dwayne Gunn. Dwayne Gunn out of Indiana, Tony Bodie out of Montana State. That's Tony Bodie, 5'11", 195-pound speedster. Frank Corral hit a midseason slump, missed a couple of possible game-winning field goals, lacked confidence. But over the past 5 weeks, the 5-game win streak, Corral is 7 of 9. The confidence is back. The pressure is built, and we're underway. The Western Conference Championship game from Tempe, Arizona. Dwayne Gunn is the man who receives it 4 yards deep in the end zone. He downs it there for a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 20. And the man at center stage right now, Steve Young. Steve Young is the quarterback. He has changed things dramatically for the LA offense. Tony Bodie is the H-back, the halfback. Kevin Mack is the fullback. He is replacing Mel Gray, who broke his arm last week in the winning touchdown in the 3rd overtime. JoJo Townsell, Freddie Scott, the wide receivers. Mike Sherrod's the tight end. The offensive line, Zimmerman, Jones, Ruther, Durrett, and Jeff Hart, the longtime veteran of the Baltimore Colts. Kevin Nelson is now in at the setback, so it'll be Mack and Nelson most of the evening. This is Nelson. Nelson picks up 5. It'll bring up 2nd and 5. Kit Lathrop is the man who made the tackle. Let me set that defensive lineup for you. The talent up front is experience. Carl Lorch, Wilbur Young, Kit Lathrop, and John Lee. Ed Smith is certainly the most active linebacker. Jim Fawnhorst is very consistent. Stan White, the longtime veteran, the most knowledgeable. The defensive backs, Lance Shields, playing in place of Minifield. Carl Allen, Bruce Laird, Luther Bradley. 2nd and 5. Late snap. Flags fly, and there's a penalty. And still, Young is hit. I should mention now that there was an article in the paper today. There has been a controversy all week. John Hadel, the coach of LA, has accused Arizona as being bounty hunters. That George Allen has instigated his team and motivated them to get Young out of the ball game. George Allen has denied that.
That goes back to Hadel's days in the National Football League. This game has been surrounded by so much controversy all week that sometimes we get away from the fact that it's such an outstanding matchup of 2 teams, both individually and collectively, which we're going to highlight throughout the evening.
The penalty was on Wayne Jones on the offensive line for LA, so they move him back. It'll be 2nd and 10. Freddie Scott, Malcolm Moore, Dwayne Gunn, and JoJo Townsell, the wide receivers. This is Nelson. Eddie Brown, the nickelback, was there, along with Ed Smith, 56, the linebacker.
Kevin Nelson, who you see right there, Tim, is the younger brother of Darren Nelson out of Stanford. Both great athletes. Kevin is a little bit bigger, a little bit more physical player. Both very versatile, however, and are equally effective both as runners as receivers. With Mel Gray out of the lineup, expect to see Kevin getting more work tonight, along with Kevin Mack as his backup.
Kevin Nelson scored the winning touchdown against Arizona the first time these 2 teams met. LA won it 24-17 after a big interception by Troy West. It is 3rd and 6, the ball on the 24. Young, with pressure on both sides, steps up into the pocket, has some running room. Young, good move to the 40-yard line, goes out of bounds, first down LA. He has a lot of ability, there's no question about that, but his biggest asset, I think, is his escape dimension.
The escape dimension is very much in evidence here as Steve Young, who has 4.5 speed in the 40-yard dash, steps up, steps wide. Now watch the move he puts on number 32, Carl Allen, in the defensive secondary, and then wisely runs for the sideline. I'm sure that makes John Hadel happy because we've talked about this before. One of the problems that Steve Young has had is that he runs like a running back and not like a quarterback. He's starting to learn some of the tricks of the trade.
A 16-yard pickup, first down at the 40. Scott in motion. The give again. Off tackle. There's room in the secondary for Nelson. And he's up at midfield. Ed Smith tripped him up, or it could have been more.
Probably one of the more dramatic things about Los Angeles in the second half of the season is the improvement in their running game. As we see right here, the blast play off the right side. Good blocking by Wayne Jones, number 65, as he pulls there, leads through the hole for Kevin Nelson, picking off Ed Smith, the linebacker, number 56.
A 9-yard pickup for Nelson. He now has 19 on 3 carries. It'll be 2nd and 1. The ball on the 49-yard line. Triple receivers, top of the screen. Lone setback is Nelson. Play action. Young with time. Throws deep. Incomplete, intended for JoJo Townsell, number 26. They call that a waste down. On 2nd down and 1, he felt he could go long and always come back on 3rd down to get the first.
Combination pattern on the left side between Malcolm Moore, number 84, and JoJo Townsell, number 26. Townsell coming from the inside to the outside, play fake first, and Young is aiming for Townsell. Townsell was in the open area there in front of number 32 right there. That was Carl Allen. You throw that ball a little lower, it would have been a completion.
They say Kevin Nelson has those happy feet. He has fast twitch fibers.
That's a new term. You better explain that.
Malcolm Moore in motion. The give, right side. This is Nelson. Nelson, another big gainer. First down express. Jim Fawnhorst, the linebacker, is the man who made the tackle, along with Stan White.
Impressive drive for the Express. This is what they wanted to do. They wanted to come out and pound on that big physical defensive line of Arizona. We talked about this at the top of the show. Probably if you had to pinpoint one segment of this game, you would pick the young offensive line of Los Angeles against that veteran, tough, physical defensive line of Arizona.
7-yard pickup. Nelson now 26 yards, 4 carries. It'll be first down from the 44. This is Kevin Mack now the setback, replacing Nelson, who gets a breather. Young across the middle, incomplete. It was intended for JoJo Townsell, and it was almost picked off by Carl Allen.
Quick post pattern by JoJo Townsell. Steve Young, 5-step drop. Townsell from the right side. The coverage there is by apparently Lance Shields, number 22.
Lance Shields and Carl Allen, the two out there.
Steve is 0 for 2 in the passing department, but he has the running game going.
George Allen, known for his aggressive man-for-man defense, played a lot of zone last week against Jim Kelly, playing a lot of zone here tonight. This is Kevin Mack to the 30, the 25, the 20. Now it's strength and speed to the 10-yard line. Kevin Mack finally rides Luther Bradley out of bounds. Big gainer. It'll be first and goal at the 10.
Good execution on the draw play to the ace back, Kevin Mack. Watch how he sets first. Makes the move to his right. Good opening there. Gets into the secondary. Breaks a tackle there. Breaks another tackle. Breaks a third tackle. Now it's a matchup between he and number 27, Luther Bradley, the safety man, who wrestles him out of bounds along the sidelines. Bear in mind that Kevin Mack has 4.4, 4.5 speed in the 40-yard dash, despite the fact that he's 200 pounds.
Kevin Mack did not play at all last week, even though he was healthy. Mel Gray and Nelson got all the playing time.
But he got 34 yards on that one. 1 carry, 34 yards.
First and goal from the 10. Hersey in motion. Mack, right side, picks up 3 more. It'll be second and goal from the 7. Los Angeles running game has improved dramatically since Steve Young joined the roster. As a matter of fact, it's the only team in the league that had 4 ball carriers with over 100 yards in a game this season.
Young, Mack, Gray, and Nelson. Steve Young had 100 yards rushing plus 300 yards passing in one game. That is unprecedented in pro football history.
11 minutes, 7 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Bodie in motion. Young to throw. In trouble and dumps it and throws it away. And he's still hit. It's Kit Lathrop who drives him to the ground. The fans wanted a flag for intentional grounding. Lathrop just wanted Young.
Kit Lathrop, who was the USFL Defensive Lineman of the Year in 1983, is the man in pursuit. He gets away from Wayne Jones, number 65, and watch how he keeps wrestling Steve Young to the ground. You mentioned the controversy. The word bounty was used at a press conference earlier this week.
Kit Lathrop, hardest worker on the team, leading tackler, has 13 sacks in his second year. It is a veteran defense. John Lee, 9-year veteran. Carl Lorch, 9-year veteran. Joe Ehrman, 12-year veteran. And there's timeout on the field. Los Angeles needs this touchdown badly to establish some confidence. It is an extremely young ball club. We mentioned at the beginning of the telecast, 42 of the 50 players on the roster are first or second-year players, but they're knocking at the door. It'll be 3rd and 7. John Hadle and Steve Young have talked things over on the sidelines. Los Angeles now has 3rd and 7. The ball on the 7. 3rd and goal. You see the plays in Hadle's hand. Kevin Nelson, Freddie Scott, Malcolm Moore, Dwayne Gunn, JoJo Townsell. They line up with all skill position. Drills it. Overthrown. Intended for JoJo Townsell.
Steve Young now 0 for 4 in the passing department. They lined up with all receivers, all in immediate receiving position. Steve Young, the only possible runner right here. He's throwing the ball for Townsell and aiming just past Eddie Brown, number 25. Bring on Tony Zendejas, who has 11 straight right now.
Tony Zendejas, the rookie from Nevada Reno. He hit 2 field goals last week, 32 and 34 yards. This one from 25. There's no question about the distance. The arms go up and it's good. So the Los Angeles Express get on the board first here at Tempe, Arizona, Sun Devil Stadium, and they lead the Arizona Wranglers 3-0. Tony Zendejas makes it a 3-0 ball game. He has not missed inside the 30 this year. He is 7 for 7 from that range. As a matter of fact, his last field goal miss came at Philadelphia, May 13th. That was his 12th field goal in a row, which ties the record of Tim Mazzetti of New Orleans. Zendejas kicks off deep. This is Mark Tolbert. And he lets it roll out of bounds. So it's a touchback. And they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line and see it up there. Let's take a look at the offense of the Arizona Wranglers. This will be the first possession for them this evening. The 17-year veteran, Greg Landry. Tim Spencer and Kevin Long, the duo which went over 1,000 yards for the second straight season, 1,000 each. Jermaine Johnson and Lenny Willis are the wide receivers. The tight end, Paul Ricker. They like to run behind Taylor and Thayer on the left side. Jerry Sullivan, longtime NFL veteran, the same as David Huffman and John Stodnick. There is a player injured. It is Sam Norris out of East Carolina.
Perhaps on the replay we can see how Sam Norris, number 55, injures himself. There's the contact right there. It's a hit by Andy Mellontree, number 53. And Sam Norris hits the dirt.
Norris played for the Wranglers last season. It's obvious that there is quality talent at the skilled positions. Not as obvious, certainly as intriguing as the blend of experience and youth, definitely talent, in the trenches. Good line play tonight. As you mentioned, Lee Grosscup is paramount for both clubs on offense and defense. First down from the 20. Long count by Landry. The give inside. Kevin Long picks up a few. They'll give him 5. It'll bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive lineup for L.A. Fletcher Jenkins, Georgia Chica, Charles Ussery, and Eddie Meat Cleaver Weaver out of the University of Georgia. The down linemen, very active, very strong. Danny Rich, Howard Carson, David Howard, the linebackers. 4-3 scheme. They play a lot of zone. One of the more basic defensive alignments in the league. Henderson, Scott, Drain, and Mitchell, the secondary. 2nd and 5 from the 25. It's a scissors play. Tim Spencer. And he lost a couple of yards. Wyman Henderson, the corner man, read it, came upfield quickly. Not only kept containment, but threw him for a loss.
Wyman Henderson, the cornerback, is one of 2 players in the secondary out of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and he's been a starter for them for the last 2 years, Tim. He's one of the more consistent players in the secondary. A good tackler, good on support. Sometimes his coverage is a little bit suspect. But this area of their team has improved dramatically since we first covered them in the second game of the year against the Birmingham Stallions, because at that time they felt that far and away the strength of their defense was their front 4.
Sam Norris looks to be okay. This is 3rd and 7. Landry's first pass of the night. Pressure, backside, steps into the pocket and drills the football to Tremaine Johnson. Tremaine up close to a first down will be a little bit shy. Edward Scott is the man who came up, made the tackle, prevented the first, and they'll have to punt it away. What an athlete Tremaine Johnson is. Last year's receiver of the year. Frank Corral comes on the punt. His longest is 58 yards. His average is 41.4, which is fourth in the league. 69 punts this year, more than most clubs would like to see in a season. Like to get it down to about 40, 50, like Birmingham. Dwayne Gunn is the deep man for Los Angeles. 8 minutes, 38 seconds remain in the first quarter. High spiraling punt. Gunn will take it at the 32 and a running start. But he's nailed. Bruce Giesling came up and made the tackle and drilled home the impact. There is a flag, a 40-yard punt, 4-yard return, and there is a flag down.
Looks like there was a little ruckus after the tackle there, Tim, involving Danny Rich and one of the Wrangler players.
It'll be against Arizona, so they'll move him back again. Or Los Angeles, rather. There's no question about the fact these two teams in the short period over the last 2 years have developed quite a rivalry in the Pacific Division. It is just now heating up, 3-0. The Express scored the first time they had the football here in the first quarter. It is a 3-0 ball game. Tony Zendejas was the man who kicked a 25-yard field goal, and now the Express get their second chance with the football, with the offense, and they'll be going against the league's #1 defense, Arizona. Kevin Nelson is the lone setback. Hersey in motion. The give inside to Nelson, who jitterbugs and now bangs his way across the 25-yard line. Right now, let's go downstairs to the sideline. Here's Ted Dawson with Mel Gray.
Thank you very much, Tim. This is the broken arm suffered by Mel Gray on the last play of last week's game. Mel, I know you'd like to be out there, but obviously the offense is moving extremely well with Kevin Nelson and Kevin Mack.
Yes, unfortunately, I had an accident last week, and
the whole nation saw.
I was looking forward to being in this game, and it's a big game for me. And unfortunately, it didn't happen. But Kevin Nelson and Kevin Mack is really doing a great job out there running the ball, so I don't think they'll miss me at all out there.
Okay, thanks, Mel. Timmy?
This is Nelson on the draw play on 2nd and 6, and he's going to lose ground quickly. It's Lance Shields who came up, along with a host of other Arizona Wranglers.
Well, of those 3 running backs that they have used, Mel Gray is the quickest and the fastest. He has the best speed of any player on the team. Kevin Nelson, perhaps the most versatile, but you've talked about Kevin Mack and his power for his size. He has the strength that you like. He can give them that inside threat as well as outside.
Mel Gray, 124 yards last week and the winning touchdown. He's had 3 games over 100 yards this year, and there's no question about the fact that L.A. misses him here this evening. Third down, 13, ball on the 20. Man-for-man defense by the Express. Young in trouble, throws deep, intercepted. Luther Bradley, the 45, the 35. And Arizona will have the ball with outstanding field position, but there is an injury. Carl Allen, the defensive back, number 32, is still down. He's grasping his ankle.
Steve Young off to a shaky start here, 0 for 5 in the passing department as he sprints left. He's looking downfield for his wide receiver. That's number 83, Dwayne Gunn, and he doesn't see the free safety, number 27, Luther Bradley out of Notre Dame, who comes in there. Now watch the shot on number 32, Carl Allen right here. Looks like he gets his ankle, looks like he gets his left ankle caught.
It would be a big loss for the defensive secondary should Carl Allen go out. He has not allowed a touchdown pass this year.
That man, Luther Bradley, had 6 interceptions in a single game last year against Tampa Bay.
All-Pro, had 12 for the year last season, has 4 this year. And right now, Arizona has the football. Lenny Willis to the top of the screen, the wideout. Tremaine Johnson to the bottom of the screen. Tim Spencer, Kevin Long, the setbacks. First down, play action. Landry drills it across the middle, and Willis has it. First down, Arizona, inside the 20.
Lenny Willis, a free agent out of Ohio State who came on strong when Wayman Buggs was injured in the ballgame earlier this season against Michigan, is running a deep curl-in route. He gets in behind Wyman Henderson, number 22 right there, and catches the ball on a perfect play-action pass from his quarterback, Greg Landry.
A 19-yard gain, 49th catch of the year for Lenny Willis. All-Pro punt returner last season. The ball at the 18. The give inside is Spencer. Spencer stumbles and gains and lunges forward to the 13-yard line. Let's go downstairs now. Here's Ted Dawson.
Thanks, Tim. Luther Bradley, who just came over that key interception. I noticed Coach George Allen just came over the sideline and showed you a diagram. What did he tell you?
He just told me that the guy tried to run a seam on us. He caught us in a man-to-man, but we had a double coverage on the slot guy, and fortunate enough, I was in position to get the ball.
Was the pass just poorly thrown?
I think it was a poorly thrown ball, but, that's a credit to our front four. They're doing a heck of a job up front.
Luther Bradley. Timmy?
Luther had an interception last week. He has 3 in the USFL playoffs. It's 2nd and 5. The ball on the 13. Long. Spins, drives, turns inside the 5 to the 4-yard line.
You mentioned how Kevin Long and Tim Spencer love to run that left side behind big Rob Taylor, number 75, and Tom Thayer, number 61. Thayer probably the most consistent of an outstanding, big, and physical front 5 for Arizona. 2 carries now for Long for a total of 14 yards.
First and goal from the 4. Landry, long count, man-to-man defense by L.A. Spencer, right side, touchdown Arizona.
On the right side, particularly the right tackle, John Stadnick, as Tim Spencer, on a blast play off the right side, goes forward, makes his cut, spins and drives and heads for the end zone. Good blocking along that front 5 once again. George Allen, the embodiment of that cliche, mistakes will kill you. It came as a result of a turnover.
Frank Corral's extra point attempt is good. And Arizona takes the lead, 7-0 on Tim Spencer's touchdown. Spencer, over 1,000 yards for the 2nd straight year, has tremendous acceleration. Ranks 2nd on the all-time rushing list at Ohio State, behind Heisman Trophy winner Archie Griffin. 7-3 is our score, 7:29 remaining in the first quarter. This is Frank Corral, who's ready to kick off. The Arizona defense ready to come back on. And the official word on Carl Allen is a twisted right ankle. He may return. A low line drive. It'll be taken at the 5-yard line by Tony Bodie. Tony Bodie finds a funnel. Now it closes quickly, and he goes down at the 27-yard line.
Scoring drive which came as a result of a turnover. Now, George Allen believes that if he can make you turn over the ball 3 times, he will beat you every time. He's a true fundamentalist, Tim. You were in training camp with him back in the early 70s. You know how he believes in the concept of a strong defense. Defense is his number 1 priority. He feels that you win with defense, amplified.
I had a long talk with George when I got in here Thursday. He says the difference in this ball game tonight will be poise and patience. The same thing that won the game last week in the last 6 minutes against Houston. Lupe Sanchez comes in for Carl Allen. He's a rookie on first down. Young throws across the middle. It's complete. So JoJo Townsell moves the ball up to the 41-yard line. That's where it'll be marked. It'll be first down Los Angeles.
Shot in the arm for Steve Young, his first completion of the night. 1 of 6 now in the passing department. JoJo Townsell, in isolation out of UCLA, is running a curl route. Gets in the seam right here. Lance Shields, number 22, is the man on the coverage. He circles in front of Shields. Shields right there on the tackle, but it's a good gainer. And a first completion of the night. 1 of 6, 15 yards for Steve Young.
Malcolm Moore goes in motion. First down from the 41-yard line. Young gives it inside. This is Mack, who bangs his way across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Right now, let's go down to Ted Dawson with Tim Spencer.
Thank you very much. Tim Spencer has put Arizona ahead in this ball game. Tim, congratulations. Describe the run for you. It looked like your offensive line just blew them out.
Well, I think the offensive line did a good job at the point of attack. It was nothing more than an off-guard play with a power play with the guard leading up, fullback leading up. They blocked it well, and I got it in.
Was the game plan to run against the Express?
Well, we plan to run, but we plan to mix it up.
Tim?
Tim Spencer, in his 15 games, he's been scoring almost every week at will. 8 straight touchdowns, 2nd and 4, left side. Across midfield into Arizona territory. Goes Kevin Mack. When you think of the LA offense, you usually think pass because of Steve Young. That's not necessarily the case. They do run more now that Steve Young is in the backfield. As a matter of fact, it's a 60-40 ratio run-pass, and you can see how things have changed as Steve Young has come into the lineup.
Changed very dramatically from early season, and particularly from last year, when the Express were the weakest rushing team in the league, averaging less than 90 yards per game.
For Steve Young, a running quarterback, you saw how much he needs now for the first down.
I have called him a combination of Ken Stabler and Fran Tarkenton. I think he's the most exciting scrambling quarterback I have seen since Tarkenton came into the league back in the early 60s. Burst on the scene with an amazing performance against the Chicago Bears in his debut, and then went on to become one of the greatest running and passing quarterbacks in the history of professional football.
3rd and 1 is the situation. Wilbur Young comes into the ball game. Joe Ehrman goes out on the defensive line for Arizona. Everybody in tight, short yardage defense. Hersey in motion. Mack, first down, then some, to the 41-yard line. He drives Bruce Laird and Luther Bradley back to the 40. And Los Angeles is playing with authority.
Good blast play. That's exactly what they wanted to do, was establish the run, use up the clock, eliminate the big play right in behind Zimmerman and Jones on the left side. Zimmerman has emerged as one of the premier rookie linemen in the United States Football League. Mack now has 5 carries, Tim, for 55 yards. Impressive start.
Kind of thing John Hayden would like to see all night. 3rd and 1, he picks up 10. Nelson. Not much. You talk about the experience of the Arizona defense. It still runs to the football, has a lot of pursuit. Not only the knowledge, but they've got the hustle. You know, when you look at this defensive unit, as you watch Kevin Nelson go back to the huddle, you have to think experience immediately. You've got Bruce Laird in the secondary, 13-year veteran, of course, captain of the Baltimore Colts, great sticker. Luther Bradley started every game this year. He's an all-pro. Carl Allen hasn't allowed a touchdown pass. Minifield did not play because of the injury, but Pawnhorst, 13 years. Smith is a veteran. Stan Smith, 13 years. This is Young across the middle. It's complete. It'll be 2 yards shy of a first down. David Hersey picks up 8. It'll be 2nd and 2.
David Hersey, the H-back, who has been one of the leading receivers on the team all season long, comes in motion from left to right. Now he's going to run up the right seam as we see a 5-man pattern. There's Hersey right there catching the ball in front of Ed Smith, number 56. H-back simply stands for halfback because the fullback is the ace-back. He's the remaining back. They really aren't fullback types, but they labeled them fullbacks in this sophisticated offense, basically designed by Sid Gilman.
Young now 2 of 7, 22 yards. This is 3rd down, short yardage. Nelson has the first down as he bangs across the left side following that big offensive line. Wayne Jones again through the key block. Gary Zimmerman is there along with Mike Ruther. So both teams have moved the football in the first quarter. Both teams have tried to establish the authority and pay the price against the other. It's the end of the first quarter. Our score is 7-3 Arizona. The winner of this game advances to the league championship next Sunday. That'll be in Tampa Bay. And of course tomorrow ABC will show you the Eastern Conference Championship game between Philadelphia and Birmingham. Keith Jackson, Lynn Swan, Mike Adamle will be at that one. This is 1st and 10 from the 29. Young drills it across the middle, incomplete. Intended for JoJo Townsell. There's a flag. Lupe Sanchez, the rookie, they're picking on him. He replaced the injured Carl Allen, and looks like pass interference. It is.
Steve Young, straight drop back, will be looking for JoJo Townsell, his wide receiver, out to his left. Coverage by Sanchez. Obvious violation right there. You saw the premature contact.
Lupe Sanchez working on JoJo Townsell.
Defense. First down.
And those two played together at UCLA. Arizona's first penalty of the game. 14:56 remaining in the half. Arizona leads 7-3. Townsell and Scott, the wide receivers, to give inside is Nelson. Nelson down to the 11-yard line. Kid Lathrop and Jim Fawnhorst are the ones that come up and make the stop.
Jim, I mentioned turnovers. Mistakes will kill you. Now look how Los Angeles has dominated the game in time of possession. They kept the ball for 10 minutes and 12 seconds, but that one turnover resulted in a touchdown. As a result of that, they trail on the scoreboard. Total yards, look, 120 to 27.
The word on Cupper, the word on Carl Allen now is that it is an injured right ankle. They have taken him into the locker room for x-rays. He may or may not return. This is Nelson to the 5. Has room to the 1. Touchdown, Los Angeles.
It looked like Stan White was trying to tackle the football that time on the left side. And as a result of that, Kevin Nelson slipped away. He's the ace back right here. Watch this. He picks up a good block. He gets away from Luther Bradley, number 27 right there. And also Bruce Laird, number 40, slips his grasp and onto the end zone. Also slipped away from Jim Fawnhorst, number 55. Good effort there as he broke 3 tackles on his way to the end zone.
We talked about the battle in the trenches. It's taking place. Both teams now playing extremely well. Tony Zendejas adds the extra point, and Los Angeles takes the lead again. So, an 11-yard touchdown by Nelson. He now has 41 yards on 10 carries, and Los Angeles leads it 10-7 over the Wranglers. Tony Zendejas to kick off. Mark Tolbert is deep. 4 yards deep in the end zone. Out to the 10, 15, out to the 18-yard line. Tony Bodie made the tackle. Right now, Kevin Nelson is standing by with our Ted Dawson.
Thank you very much, Tim. Kevin, congratulations to you. Did you feel extra pressure, the entire running team, with Mel Gray out? The effort would have to be up for you to do?
It's a little pressure there, but me and Kevin Mack and Kirby Bourne, we've been working real hard in practice, and we knew it was going to be tough coming out here, so we have our work cut out for us.
Okay, describe the touchdown for me, will you?
It was just a playoff tackle, got the perfect blocking by offensive lineman. I ran through a couple of tackles and got into the end zone.
Congratulations, Kevin. Timmy?
All right, Ted, Willis and Johnson now on the offense come to the bottom of the screen. This is Spencer in motion. First down, Arizona. Look for the wide receiver screen, but it's knocked down by Eddie Weaver. Eddie Meat Cleaver Weaver out of the University of Georgia. 6 foot, 265 pounds.
He really peaked last week in the ball game against Michigan. He had one of his greatest games ever.
10 tackles and 2 sacks. He also forced a Bear fumble that led to a third-quarter field goal by Zendejas.
And he's the strongest man on the team. Bench presses 535 pounds.
Got the same hobby as you, comic books.
Right. Remember
Second and 10, the ball on the 18. Long count, man defense. Kevin Long breaks the tackle, gets it back out to the line of scrimmage. They'll give him a 2-yard pickup. Third and 6, Landry to throw. Backside pressure, drills it across the middle, incomplete, intended for Lenny Willis. Dwight Drain was the man who was in man-to-man defense and was right in the hip pocket of Willis.
Greg Landry, 5-step drop here. Pretty good penetration by the Express. He moves forward in the pocket. He's aiming for Lenny Willis, number 89. Dwight Drain, out of the University of Oklahoma, one of the swiftest men on the team and one of the strongest hitters, is right there on the coverage. I know you like the way he plays in the secondary, Tim.
Boy, that was nice. Play inside, outstay in his hip pocket, knocked the ball away when it comes. Landry now 2 of 4 for 24 yards. Frank Corral, number 3, will punt it to Dwayne Gunn. That's off a high liner. Gunn takes it on the 35, and he is going nowhere. Well, if there's one thing George Allen loves, it's special teams. And they got down in a hurry. It was Randy Johnson who made the tackle after a 43-yard punt. George Allen talking with his players in his baseball cap, a master of detail, a builder of successful programs. Number 78, Gus Coppins, comes in to replace Jeff Hart. On the offensive line for LA, it's first down from the 37. Malcolm Moore in motion. Young with time. Throws complete to Mack. Mack has the first down and then
he's got room.
Inside the 44-yard line, down to the 37-yard line goes Kevin Mack. And Mack is now hurt.
Steve Young, who started slowly, has started to get hot now in the passing department. He looks left. Now he's going to come back to his right. Kevin Mack, number 27, has hooked in the right flat there. He breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, gets by Luther Bradley, has room momentarily. Bruce Laird, number 40, closes in along the sidelines and finally brings Mack down. We will check on the extent of his injury. 3 of 8 now for Steve Young after 0 for 5 start.
They're working on his knee. It is first and 10 from the 38. Give inside to Nelson. Kevin Nelson now the only running back that's healthy for Los Angeles.
His backup would be Kirby Warren, number 49, who has played hardly at all this season. He is a good one out of the University of Pacific, where he broke many of Dick Bass's rushing records there.
Or they would move Tony Bodie from the H-back to the tailback position.
That would be the more likely possibility because of the experience.
Kevin Mack leaves the ball game with 5 carries, 55 yards. Second and 7 from the 35. Tony Bodie in motion. Nelson with a blocker. Cuts inside. First down, Express.
The Express are dominating in this football game, Tim. I am shocked at how much they are controlling the football. They have had impressive drives of 73 and 74 yards, respectively, and they're moving the ball again. They have owned the clock in terms of time of possession. Remember, they did this same thing, however, in the first half last week against Michigan, and then Michigan struck suddenly and scored twice within about a 2-minute period just before halftime.
Arizona played like this as well against Houston and fell behind. The word from Ted Dawson down on the sidelines is that Kevin Mack is okay. He will be back in the ball game. He's in there now.
10 first downs for Los Angeles to Arizona's 2.
This is Mack, right side, has some blockers, 20. To the 16-yard line goes Kevin Mack out of Clemson. Ed Smith, the linebacker, is the man who skated down the line of scrimmage and made the tackle.
6'1", 200 pounds is that man right there out of Clemson. And he has 4.5 speed. Was the ACC Player of the Week against the University of Maryland. You saw him run wild against your alma mater.
I did. He's listed at 6'1", 200 pounds, but he's stronger than that. He's got tremendous leg power, a low center of gravity.
And he's also been effective at times as a receiver, something I don't think they really knew a lot about during his college career.
Second and 2 from the 16. Nelson inside. He'll be close to a first down. Lee Groscup, you are exactly right. Right now, Los Angeles is dominating the line of scrimmage, and that's the difference.
Gary Zimmerman on the left side, number 56, is emerging as one of the premier young offensive linemen in the United States Football League. Week by week, he gets stronger and more consistent, as you saw him work on Mark Bubin, number 63 that time.
Did you see the block by Durrett?
They are flat blowing him out of there.
They're just giving him a good old-fashioned licking right now. First down, Los Angeles. 9 minutes, 56 seconds remain in the first half.
A story within a story there. Ray Malavasi, a former Los Angeles Rams head coach who started the year as an assistant coach with the Oakland Invaders. There's Jeff Hart, number 72, next to him, who has been replaced in the game by Coppins, Gus Coppins out of UCLA.
Jeff Hart, a little bit winded. It is close to 100 degrees here in Tempe, Arizona. Jim Brandt, Lee Groscup, Ted Dawson. David Hurst Hersey in motion. Young to throw on first down. Has time. Drops it short. Now it's complete to his tight end, Darren Long. Almost looked like it bounced.
They're going to give it to him. Darren Long is a sure-handed tight end out of Cal State Long Beach, where he caught a record number of passes from Todd Dillon when he was there. Let's see. Now, are they calling it complete or incomplete? Steve Young appears to throw this ball a little bit short. Good effort there. But they're going to rule it an incompletion.
It'll be 2nd and 10, the ball on the 14-yard line. Los Angeles leads 10-7.
There's Darren Long. Next year they'll have Gordon Hudson, too.
Strong side right. JoJo Townsell and Hersey are the wideouts. This is Young to throw. Timing pattern in the corner to Townsell. Incomplete. He called it out of bounds. Townsell made the catch, but he made it outside the back line.
Watch the pressure by Ed Smith as he comes in and gets a lick on Steve Young just as he's throwing the ball. Townsell running a fade pattern here is beating the cornerback, number 44, Lupe Sanchez, but you see there that it's a good call just beyond the end line. Young now 3 of 10 passing for 46 yards.
Tony Bodie comes into the ball game. JoJo Townsell goes out.
That is the consummate touch and timing route when you have to put the ball up that quickly on the fade pattern.
Scott and Moore the wideouts. Hersey's in the ball game with Tony Bodie as well. To give inside. This is Kevin Mack to the 5, the 3-yard line. Kevin Mack.
Boy, that's confidence in your running game when you call that play on 3rd and long yardage.
Arizona was in a nickel defense, so LA took it inside.
Do they believe in their left side? Hesitation. Counterplay to the left side. Durrett gets a block. So does Ruther, number 57. Eddie Brown on the tackle.
Eddie Brown, the nickel back.
John Hadel, what a career he has had, both at the collegiate level and as a professional. Was All-American at 2 different positions when he was at Kansas, running back first, then quarterback.
First and goal from the 3. Mack right side. Meets resistance from the linebacker, Jim Fawnhorst, and the strong safety, Bruce Laird.
I'm sure these running drives are gratifying to John Hadel because remember, his quarterback, Steve Young, is playing with pain. He has bruised ribs, a bruised hip, and he also injured his hand, his right hand, last week in the ball game against Michigan.
Gutsy performance, wasn't it?
As I said at the top of the show, one of the most courageous and charismatic performances that I have ever seen in all of the years that I have been covering football.
It'll be 2nd and goal from the 2. 2 tight ends, everybody in tight. 2 setbacks, Mack and Nelson. Young under pressure, unloads the ball, and it's incomplete. There's a flag down, pass interference on Darren Long. It was Luther Bradley who pushed Long to tight end.
Watch how Steve Young unloads this pass under a great deal of pressure. Play action fake. He's dropping deep. Look at the pressure from number 52, Stan White. He has to throw this ball deep. He's aiming for Darren Long, his tight end, number 89. Interference called there on number 27, Luther Bradley. That will give them the ball at the 1-yard line.
Pass interference. Number 27, defense. First down.
The 13th first down of the ball game for Los Angeles. Arizona has but 2.
I played against John Hadel back in 1962 when he was with the San Diego Chargers and I was with the old New York Titans.
First and goal from the 1. Nelson, touchdown Los Angeles. Nelson's 2nd touchdown of the night.
This offensive line of the Express is going to work. How they are controlling the football on the ground, mostly with tackle-to-tackle running, and mostly running the left side. Motion to the left by the H-back, David Hersey. The ace-back, Kevin Nelson. Follows right in behind Tony Bodie, number 24, the lead blocker, and also behind his left side, once again. Good blocks on Fawnhorst by Tony Bodie.
Nelson a little bit winded. Tony Zendejas to attempt the extra point. Everybody jumps and there are flags. Kevin Nelson, 2 touchdowns last week, 2 here this evening. Quite a playoff performance.
Encroachment, defense, penalty to be assessed on the kickoff.
Our referee, Verl Sorgren, with the declaration. Our umpire tonight is Tommy Myers. Head linesman is Dale Newhouse. The line judge, Steve Morehouse. The back judge, Chet DiStefano. Side judge is Glover Clemmer. Wesley Ward is the field judge, and the alternate is Dave Kamansky. So Tony Zendejas adds the extra point, and Los Angeles leads this ball game 16-7. He adds the extra point, which makes it 17-7. We have 7:19 remaining in the half. Right now, Los Angeles is dominating this ball game. 17-7, Arizona trails, and they have just been manhandled, Lee Grosscup.
That last drive took 5 minutes and 27 seconds as they marched 62 yards. Earlier, they had a 74-yard drive. Prior to that, a 73-yard drive. They have been in charge of this football game.
Zendejas drills the football out of the end zone. It'll be a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 20. Let's go down to Ted Dawson.
Thank you, Tim. Gary Zimmerman, one of those guys, have been manhandling the Wrangler defense so far. Are you surprised you've been able to move this readily?
No, not at all. We're just changing our strategy up.
Honestly, you're not surprised?
Heck no. Why should we be surprised? We just come out, put our pants on like everybody else, and come out and knock their heads off, and that's what we're doing today.
Arizona's wide receivers were held to 2 catches last week against Houston. They have 2 here already this evening. Kevin Long picks up a tough couple. You know, I think it's interesting to note that John Hadel went easy on his team this week in an effort to heal the wounded and regain some life into the time-wearied legs of his players. Game of last week's magnitude, of last week's length and emotion, takes a tremendous toll on the participants, a toll that could last for weeks. But his team looks fresh here this evening. Surprisingly, George Allen worked his club in overtime on the field this week. 2 hours and 45-minute practices. They were wearing pads, running sprints, extra long meetings, and they looked tired. 2nd and 7. Landry, out pattern, has another completion. Lenny Willis makes the catch. It's another first down for Arizona, and the fans wanted a late hit.
Controversial hit by Wyman Henderson, number 22, as Lenny Willis in isolation here runs a sideline cut. He's down about 12 yards, rounds it to the sideline, comes back for the ball. He's down, and he's hit right there by Wyman Henderson.
Talked to Lenny Willis before the ball game. He said this is his night. He's ready to play, that they're going to beat Los Angeles. But right now they trail 17-7. Again, play action on first down. Landry drills it across the middle. Trumaine Johnson can't hold on. He was open, working on the veteran, Aaron Mitchell.
Uncharacteristic of Trumaine Johnson is this reception or lack of same. As he comes from the outside position, it's cleared by the slot back. Trumaine curls in. He's working in front of Aaron Mitchell, number 34, and also Ed Scott, number 23. He broke his concentration right there. Instead of keeping his head down and eye on the ball, he looked up momentarily.
The numbers on Trumaine Johnson. Split to the right, Lenny Willis to the top. Tim Spencer has a hole, busts his way, another first down inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. So just as we say Arizona looks tired, just as we say LA is dominating, the Wranglers come rambling back.
Well, this is what they have done all year, and I don't think you should ever rule a George Allen team out. Houston found that out last week. Tim Spencer, the leader. You look at his numbers right there, 12-12 on the year. Great career at Ohio State that you mentioned. He had a great game in the Holiday Bowl game 2 years ago.
1st and 10 from the 40. Straight ahead. No fair dodging goes Kevin Long.
Straight ahead, no fair dodging. I like that. We first heard that from Jim Stanley in a ball game that Michigan matched up with Birmingham, and I think we're going to see that same kind of game here tonight. Kevin Long out of South Carolina was the first 1,000-yard rusher for the Gamecocks. Second one, of course, being George Rogers. And you talked about the tandem of Long and Spencer becoming the first in pro football history to do with 1,000 yards 2 years in a row.
A telling statistic there. Los Angeles, 149 yards rushing already. Second and 7 from the 37. Landry has all night to throw. Lenny Willis is open. They rule him out of bounds. No good. Incomplete.
Well, remember, this is a 2-foot league, unlike college football, where it only requires 1 foot inbounds. I think that he does have 1 foot, but we'll watch. Sideline. He's just running past the wide receiver, or the defender, Wyman Henderson, number 22, straight up the sideline. He's going to make the over-the-shoulder catch right here. Now watch. The right foot is in, but the left foot is not.
Lenny Willis played for the Minnesota Vikings and helped the Vikes to Super Bowl number 11. He was working as a beer distributor in Columbus, Ohio, when George Allen found him and brought him back to football. Third and 7 for Greg Landry. Playing games up front. Here come the Express. Drills it across the middle. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Darrell Patillo, the nickelback. He brings it back to the 32-yard line. Big turnover for the Express.
Patillo and West, who have made big plays all year for the Express. That is his first interception of the playoffs, as you see right there. Greg Landry, 7-step drop here. Moves forward in the pocket. Patillo picks off the ball intended for Trumaine Johnson, gets up and returns it to opportunistic field position.
Just a poorly thrown ball. Los Angeles -3 in the giveaway takeaway ratio. We're in Tempe, Arizona, Sun Devil Stadium, with 3 minutes, 33 seconds remaining in the first half. Los Angeles leading 17-7. This is first down from the 32. Kirby Warren takes it on the right side. First time we've seen him tonight. John Hadel alternating his talent, trying to keep people fresh.
Kit Lathrop, who was the defensive lineman of the year in the United States Football League last season, moves off his blocker there and comes into contact with Kirby Warren, number 49, who, as Tim mentioned, is a rookie. Seldom used this year, 6'1", 185, out of the University of Pacific, where he surpassed many of the rushing records previously held by the great Dick Bass.
Tony Bodie, number 24, goes in motion. It is 2nd and 9 from the 33. Give inside, not much there. Again, it's Kirby Warren. Zimmerman, Hart, Ruther, all rested. Kennard is into the ball game.
They are resting at least one offensive lineman on every series.
Well, with Mel Gray out of the ball game, Kevin Mack and Kevin Nelson have been running. They have been the workhorse. So Warren comes into the ball game now. His first carry as a professional on this series. That was his second. It'll be 3rd and 8. Zone defense by Arizona. Young steps up in the pocket, drills it across, but a nice defensive play by Luther Bradley. He knocked the ball away from JoJo Townsell.
In the 4-3 man look, so often you see that free safety back there like a center fielder. Luther Bradley does this about as well as any safety man in the league, number 27. There he is right there.
It's an interesting defense, Cupper. You can see Luther Bradley's in a man, the strong safety's in a man, the backside was in a zone defense, so the linebackers just dropped out into the hook area. So
combination coverage.
We're starting to see that now from the more experienced defense. This is Jeff Partridge, a fake punt, the pass, and it's knocked down. Oh my, so that'll give Arizona good field position. We saw Partridge throw last week. It was complete, but they brought it back on a penalty. Tonight he goes to Troy West, and it's knocked down by good coverage. Eddie Brown.
Tim, watch this. I'm not totally sure this was planned, because look here. He sees the pressure coming up, and I think maybe he was just getting rid of this ball rather than trying to punt it. But if it was a planned play, obviously Arizona had it scouted, because as you mentioned, they tried it last week. It was successful, but it was called back.
Talking with the Arizona players at practice the other day, they said George Allen had gone over every conceivable play. If Los Angeles had run it once this year, they practiced it. It is first down from the 35 with 2 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the half. Greg Landry, the quarterback for Arizona. Play action. Tries to set up the screen and does to his tight end. It's Ricker down for the first down and then some. Paul Ricker, the tight end, on the screen. First down, Arizona.
That man is a story within a story. Took over when Tim Reitman went down last season and has been a starter ever since and has become perhaps their most complete offensive lineman, not only because of his receiving, but because of his blocking.
What a big play it looms now, the fake punt, or if it was a fake punt. If we can get it, take another look at it, Cupper, see if this really was a fake punt.
The pressure is being applied here by Johnson, and that forces Partridge to do something. I don't think this was a planned play. He's trying to throw the ball out here to Troy West, and it's Eddie Brown who knocks the ball down. I don't think he wanted to do that. I think that when he saw the pressure there, that he simply reacted to it and figured, hey, I better do something, so he threw the ball.
Well, let's find out. Right now, Ted Dawson is with him.
Thank you, Jeff Partridge. Was it or was it not a planned play?
No, it wasn't. It's just something that we call when we're on the field, and if the situation comes up how it did, we should have called it, but I don't think we should have called it when we did.
Who called the play?
It's my personal protector, it's Howard Carson.
Okay, Jeff Partridge. Timmy?
Okay, Ted, thank you. So he did decide to go ahead and throw it, and it is a tremendous turnover. We've got 1:55 remaining in the half. Arizona now knocking on the door because of that interception, or the fake punt, rather. Tomorrow, don't forget, coming up on ABC Sports, Eastern Conference Championship, the United States Football League continues. The Birmingham Stallions against the Philadelphia Stars. That game will be played at Franklin Field in Philadelphia.
What a rematch that will be. Birmingham was blown out by Philadelphia earlier in the year, and that surprised me because at that time, I thought that Birmingham was the class of the league.
Don't forget the winner of that game tomorrow and the winner of this game tonight will meet in a week down in Tampa, Florida for the United States Football League Championship. Philadelphia, the defending champion. From the 24-yard line. Los Angeles now shows man defense. They fake the blitz. Landry gives inside. This is Spencer. Has a hole. 15, 10, to the 8-yard line. Tim Spencer. And listen to the crowd.
Bullish running here by Tim Spencer, following in behind the lead block of Kevin Long, who kicks out right there, and also Rob Taylor, number 75, breaks the tackle there, and finally pulled down by Scott, number 23. He's strong.
First and goal, Arizona. Again, the inside trap play. Spencer takes it down close to the 5. They'll mark it at the 6.
Tim Spencer, who finished up as the leading ball carrier on the team. You mentioned his career at Ohio State. He keeps getting better. He's a hard worker. He now has 6 carries for 37 yards and their touchdown.
George Allen, the only coach in pro football history with more than 100 wins without ever having suffered a losing season. John Hadel right there, the rookie coach, the head coach of the LA Express, who turned things around after a 3-6 start. The crowd chanting, beat LA. 1 minute, 27 seconds remain in the first half. What a career Greg Landry's had. 37 years old, 16 years of professional football, a time-tested veteran whose gray hair is just an obvious covering to the knowledge and experience gained over the years.
Out of the University of Massachusetts, where he set a lot of records in the Yankee Conference back in the 60s. Came up as a rookie in 1968 and was comeback player of the year in 1976. You know, you could consider him for comeback player of the year in 1984.
Well, he's enjoying his best year ever statistically, mainly because of the way he's being used now and the offensive scheme put in by both Roman Gabriel and offensive coordinator Paul Lanham. Over 3,000 yards passing this year, more than 20 touchdowns.
They say Gabriel has helped him in setting up quicker. Remember, Roman was the offensive coordinator last year for the New Orleans Breakers. Of course, then they were the Boston Breakers.
Second and goal from the 6. Lenny Willis, split to the right. Tremaine Johnson to the left. Spencer, Long, the setbacks. Willis in motion. Spencer to the 5. Touchdown, Arizona. Tim Spencer, second touchdown of the night.
And both touchdowns came as a result of mistakes. George Allen believes that mistakes will kill you.
Well, they're loving their football in Arizona.
Huffman and Stadnick, right side. Lead block by Long. Now the cutback right here by Tim Spencer. Dwight Drain is going to take him on right here. He breaks that tackle, breaks another tackle by Carson, and then bulls his way into the end zone.
Tim Spencer, 13 touchdowns in the last 8 games. Frank Corral to attempt the extra point. It's good.
So in just 46 seconds, they go 35 yards.
We've got a 3-point ball game. The LA Express still lead 17-14, and the crowd here is into the ball game. This is the first ever professional football game in the state of Arizona.
Different angle of the touchdown, but the same blocking prevails. Kick out there by Long. Cut back by Spencer right here. Dwight Drain is the man who tries to take him on, as does Carson. He breaks 2 tackles and finally bulls past number 22, Wyman Henderson, as he crosses the goal line. Look at the arms. Well, you can't see it right there, but that's a strong man. Look at the arms on Tim Spencer. That's a guy who has spent some time in the weight room. 18.5-inch biceps.
Bench presses well over 400 pounds. Listen to this crowd. First ever playoff game in the state of Arizona.
They're pumped up here. Some problems initially, but in the second half of the season, this has emerged as one of the strongest, if not the strongest team in the league.
Ironically, this playoff game was supposed to be played in Los Angeles, but the Express forfeited the home field advantage because the Express had nowhere to play. They were getting the LA Coliseum prepared for the Olympics.
No Rose Bowl, no Anaheim.
Corral drills this one all the way to the back of the end zone. Tony Bodie goes out past the back line, and they'll bring it out to the 20. Tim Spencer right now is with Ted Dawson. Teddy?
Thank you very much. Tim Spencer, what was the feeling over here on the sidelines of the Arizona team when LA tried the fake punt?
Well, we really didn't expect it. Myself, I didn't even see it, but I think they practiced it during the week, and I think the guys covered it pretty well.
Was the feeling, hey, this gives us new life, we can get right back into this ballgame?
Yes, we needed to get our offense going. It did give us new life and gave us good field position, and, we got things going.
Great touchdown run. Timmy?
Hey, Tim Spencer with 126 yards rushing the last time these two clubs played. 2 touchdowns here tonight. 1 minute, 21 seconds remain in the first half. 17-14, Express, and LA has the football. Kirby Warren tempers Flair. Well, Mike Durrett and Bruce Laird having a few words. Bruce Laird, longtime Baltimore Colt, known for punishing offensive players.
Were those few words speakable? Not on the air.
Pretty good first half. It's been physical.
We thought it would be. 17-14 ball game.
Zimmerman, Ruther, Hart back in now on the offensive line. Warren spins, turns, drives his way up past the 27-yard line.
6 foot, 185, a rookie out of Pacific.
It'll bring up 3rd and 4 from the 26.
Warren was chosen in the 3rd round by the Giants in the supplemental draft, despite the fact that he's hardly played this year. They know he has talent.
Warren, of course, did not have a carry or a reception before tonight's ball game. He was forced into action with the injury to Mel Gray. The heat in Arizona. But we'll be back with tonight's halftime activities after this message and a word from our local stations.
But turnovers have made this game close. And if there's a team in the league that knows how to make you pay for your mistakes, it's Arizona, coached by George Allen. I was about to say that John Hadel, he talked about the fact that they don't hang their heads. They're not used to blowing people out. They don't blow people out, and they don't get blown out. It seems like all of the games they play, maybe it's the Hollywood influence, but they play nail biters.
They play up to their potential. That's about it. Whoever they're playing, they play up that well. Now, Tim Spencer will have an opportunity here to go back to work on the offense for Arizona. They will get the ball first. Tim Spencer, 2 touchdowns, strong running back, great acceleration, bench presses 390 pounds, ranked second on the all-time rushing list at Ohio State, 36 touchdowns as a collegiate, and all-pro now in this league, over 1,000 yards 2 years in a row. Tony Zendejas to kick off, number 11, and he booms it into the night air here in Arizona and Tempe, and again it goes out of the back end zone, and it will be brought out to the 20-yard line, a touchback. So Tony Zendejas does exactly what he's supposed to do, and he kicks the ball out of the football field, almost out of the stadium. Set that offensive lineup for you. Again, the quarterback, Greg Landry, the 17-year veteran. Tim Spencer, Kevin Long, the 2 1,000-yard rushers each. Tremaine Johnson, the All-Pro, and Lenny Willis are the wide receivers. Paul Rickers, the tight end. Rob Taylor, Tom Thayer, the 2 men they like to run behind. Jerry Sullivan, the longtime NFL vet. Huffman and Stodnick. That's the offensive line as we start the second half. Arizona with a football. Landry wants to throw on the first play of the second half. Should be interference. There is. Now the flag comes. It's called on Edward Scott out of Grambling.
I think this is pretty visible, Tim. Tremaine Johnson in isolation here, running his sideline cut. Well, it's a curl out. Here it is. You see the premature contact. It's a good effort there by number 23, Edward Scott, as he reaches up with his left hand to bat the ball away. But as he was doing that, he made contact with Tremaine Johnson.
Number 29, defense. First down.
He means number 23, I think.
That would be Edward Scott. Tremaine Johnson, all-pro performer, last year's receiver of the year. Greg Landry says Tremaine has more speed than Lynn Swan, and is as good as Swan and Warfield at this point in his career. Spencer in motion. Wide out screen, and it's dropped.
Sidewinded it.
Get on the football. That could be a lateral. It's not. It was intended for Lenny Willis. The defensive alignment tonight: Fletcher Jenkins, Georgia Chica, Charles Ussery, and Eddie Weaver are the 4 down linemen. They run a 4-3 scheme. 3 active linebackers: Rich Carson, David Howard. Howard Carson, of course, longtime L.A. Ram. Henderson playing with a hip pointer tonight. Ed Scott is banged up. Dwight Drain has the speed. Aaron Mitchell, the oldest in the lineup at 31 years old.
That was Ray Malavasi, defensive coach for the Express, who you just saw, former head coach of the Rams. Landry now 5 of 11 for 61 yards passing.
This is 2nd and 10 from the 35. The give inside. We'll give him 2 yards on the pickup. Doug Dennison, first action tonight. Doug Dennison caught the touchdown pass that won the ball game last week against Houston.
Dennison, just as he did so many times when he was with the Dallas Cowboys, has a way of coming out of the backfield and making the big plays. As you mentioned, he caught the winning touchdown pass last week. We saw him earlier in a ball game against Michigan do some things like that.
Used primarily in passing situations, usually on 3rd down. Bench presses 335 pounds, and I think most people know him as the veteran of the NFL Dallas Cowboys. Willis in motion on 3rd and 8. Landry to throw and has the time. Now backside pressure, and he goes down. Tremendous play by Fletcher Jenkins, who was blocked and scrambled to get over to Landry and took his legs out from under him.
Fletcher Jenkins, a Husky out of the University of Washington, who has emerged as perhaps the most consistent member of their front 4 and has come up with some big plays. That's his first sack tonight. Greg Landry's 6-step drop here, moves forward in the pocket, and he gets, well, Fletcher just reached out with his right hand and got Greg around the ankle there.
Frank Corral has to come on now and punt it away on 4th and 13.
Frank looks good. You know, he's lost 40 pounds over the last 2 years, 30 pounds in the last year. One of 3 UCLA kickers in the league that are very effective. Andrusician and Corral, the other 2.
You saw Dwayne Gunn, the deep man. Frank Corral averages 41.4 yards per punt. This one will take Gunn back to the 20-yard line. Tries to pick up a wall, breaks the tackle, gets to the sideline up to the 37-yard line before he's run out of bounds. So Los Angeles now has the football. There's a fight out on the field. The benches are empty, and everybody now is out at midfield. No flags yet, but there are some words and there were some punches. A 48-yard punt by Corral set things up, and there was a little scramble at midfield. So Dad, send your golf clubs right now down on the field. No time for golf. 13 minutes, 22 seconds remaining in the third quarter here at Sun Devil Stadium. The Los Angeles Express lead Arizona 17-14. The Western Conference Championship game, USFL. Nelson loses a yard. The defense now start to run into the football. Bruce Laird is the man who made the tackle, and he had a lot of help. The defense is really pursuing. Steve Young is still the quarterback. David Hersey is the H-back. Kevin Nelson getting most of the work at the tailback. JoJo Townsell is a wide receiver, along with Malcolm Moore. They had Fred Scott in there, who will play. Mike Sherrod is the tight end. Gary Zimmerman is 264. Wayne Jones, 260. Mike Ruther, 270. Durrett is 268. And Hart, 278. Big, strong, quick offensive line for L.A. 2nd and 10 from the 34. Man-to-man defense. Here comes the stunt. Young goes down. Wilbur Young gets the sack.
First sack of the night for Arizona. Steve Young pressured effectively that time by big Wilbur Young.
Wilbur Young, all AFC in 1979.
Steve Young right here goes back to work. 6-step drop. Now he sees the pressure coming right up the middle from number 99, Wilbur Young. Mike Durrett missed the block there, lost Wilbur, and he was right on Steve.
3rd down and 20. They run a draw play to Nelson. Doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. They'll have to punt.
That was a crucial defensive series right there for Arizona.
Number 1 defense in the league. Jeff Partridge, number 16, on the punt. The last time he had this opportunity, he threw the ball to Troy West. It was intercepted. Arizona turned it into a touchdown.
That's the kind of defensive series that can alter the momentum of a football game.
Eddie Brown, longtime Washington Redskin. I saw him return one in the rain at RFK Stadium for a touchdown against the Cardinals. 31 years old, but he still has good speed. This one drives him back to the 23-yard line. And he'll go out of bounds on the 29, and that's where Arizona will have the football. A 46-yard punt by Jeff Partridge. Eddie Brown makes the return. They mark it at the 29-yard line. Soaring about 112, 113 most of this week here in Arizona. Tonight, about 90 degrees. Most of the folks dressed coolly and came to enjoy an exciting football game. Tim Spencer's the ball carrier. Georgia Chica, big number 75, made the tackle, and he fires up the defense.
Flags are dropping all over the place, Tim. This action is really heating up.
Eddie Weaver looks like he's hurt. He's slow getting up.
As we look at Eddie Meat Cleaver Weaver, perhaps we can figure out how this fracas started. Eddie, of course, is a very physical player. He takes on both the blocker and the ball carrier right there. And now look at this. There's David Howard, number 58, scratching and clawing right there.
Did you see Huffman? He put Weaver in a headlock. Weaver leaves the ball game.
Well, it's no secret. These two teams really don't like each other very much. It's quite a Pacific Division rivalry that has heated up amidst controversy all this last week.
Thayer and Taylor got all the publicity as the linemen that Arizona likes to follow, but with the improvement of the line, namely the right side with 9-year veteran Jerry Sullivan and David Huffman and John Stadnick, they go both sides now. Lee Williams is in the ball game to replace Weaver. 2nd and 10. Landry goes long, has a man, it's complete. It's Lenny Willis.
They're calling that a completion, and that's his biggest completion of the night. Great pass that time by Greg Landry. Lenny Willis, who took over for Wayman Bugg earlier this season, is in isolation here, number 89. Watches pass cut, takes an inside move here, back to the outside. He's behind Wyman Henderson, in front of Dwight Drain, the safety man, number 33.
Good call. You see him make the catch. He's got possession. Then Drain strips him of the football. That's a free football. It just rolled out of bounds. Arizona gets the break. It's 1st and 10 from the 39. Landry again wants to put it up. Has a man. It's complete. Now it's knocked away again. Loose football. Now they call it incomplete. Well, tick for tack if you're going to call the other one a reception. What about this one? Paul Ricker was the receiver.
Paul Ricker, the big tight end, number 86. Running a seam cut right here. He just goes up the right seam, and he appears to have the football, but it's stripped by number 22, Wyman Henderson, who is in a perfect position to do that. From a different angle, you see Wyman Henderson coming in. Ricker has the ball. How about that for perfect timing?
That should be a fumble.
I think so, too.
The one thing you want out of the officials is consistency. This is Kevin Long on 2nd down and 10. He's in trouble, has a yard, maybe 2. Howard Carson, the linebacker, comes up and makes the tackle. Wilbur Young right now, standing by with Ted Dawson.
Thank you very much, Tim. Wilbur Young, one of the biggest players in the United States Football League, just had a hold of $40 million up there in that last defensive play. Excellent defensive job on the last series.
Thanks a lot. We was in a basic rush. It was nothing really special. We just kind of rushed straight ahead. We didn't want to run too many games against him because he's so fast. And I was kind of risked there for a second. Kind of slipped through my hands like a lot of money does to most people.
Okay, Wilbur, Timmy.
All right, Wilbur Young, of course, one of the biggest. Ted Dawson's a horse. 3rd and 9 from the 38. Landry double pumps. Now throws it away. It was thrown in the direction of Trumaine Johnson. Tim Spencer was in the area as well. The backside pressure came from Lee Williams.
Lee Williams leads the team in sacks with a total of 13. He is the designated sacker out of Bethune-Cookman. Landry upset.
Well, I think what upset him was after a big play and good field position, the opportunity to score again, and they could not generate much after that. Basic zone defense by LA, but it played quite well, put a lot of pressure on Landry. So Frank Corral now comes on to punt. Corral will punt it from the 47-yard line. 17 punts this year have rolled inside the 20 for this man. He's out of UCLA. Dwayne Gunn is the deep man for Los Angeles. May not have a chance to field this one. Frank Corral has lost 30 pounds since this season, since last season.
And 40 over the last 2 years. Dwayne Gunn was kind of fidgety back in the secondary. I think he was trying to figure out just what Frank Corral was up to.
Offense. Penalty decline. 4th down.
Yeah, they may have tried to take the penalty to get more room to give him that coffin corner, and Los Angeles has declined the penalty. Gunn is moving around down there, trying to move to one side or the other, because Corral will read him and try to go to the opposite coffin corner. See him now. He's trying to give Corral a different look, a different read. He goes to the left side. It'll hit at the 7. It'll roll out of bounds. And
That's
Corral,
That's the beauty.
Corral now has 18 punts this year inside the 20. They'll mark this one at the 5. Well, it's Arizona now starting to make the big plays. A 31-yard punt. LA is backed up against its own end zone. Arizona with the veterans now really starting to take advantage of some of the opportunities, squandered opportunities by Los Angeles. Keep in mind, Arizona came back after 2 bad punts last week against Houston, and it was a fake punt interception that turned things around in this ball game. This is Kevin Mack back into the ball game now. Backs against the 5. There is a flag down. To pick up a 5, they may move it back because there is a penalty, and it's holding against Los Angeles.
Frustration showing there on the face of Coach John Hadel.
Los Angeles Express starting 9 rookies, including all the skilled positions. The Wranglers have no rookies starting.
Holding. Number 57, offense. Half the distance. Still 1st down.
The only rookie in the ball game now for Arizona is Lupe Sanchez, who has replaced Carl Allen. The lineups have changed. They are trying to keep players fresh. Temperature in the 90s. Malcolm Moore goes to the top of the screen. JoJo Townsell to the bottom. The lone setback is Kevin Mack. It is 1st and 13. The ball on the 3. Young, 3-step drop, throws, incomplete. It was intended for JoJo Townsell, and he was nailed by Lance Shields, number 22.
Dangerous call here by the Express as they throw up the middle when you're backed up to your own end zone. That means a lot of things can happen. The ball, however, was thrown perfectly by Steve Young. Very catchable. JoJo Townsell should have had it. Shields was right there on the coverage, but that would have helped. That would have gotten them out of trouble. That's part of the get-out-of-trouble offense.
Steve Young now 3 of 12, 46 yards. 9:58 remain in the third quarter. It'll be 2nd and 12. The ball on the 2. Inside give. This is Kevin Mack. Goes back to the end zone. Now bangs his way out to the 7-yard line. Lance Shields rode him out of bounds. Oh, he was so dangerously close to the goal line with a lot of pursuit coming his way.
$42 million cannot beat Arizona, according to that sign. That holding play on 1st down, which was called on Mike Ruther, was crucial for the Express. Now we have a 3rd and very obvious passing situation, and this is a call that could go either way.
Eddie Brown comes into the ball game on defense for Arizona. They take out a linebacker, Fawnhorst. It's a nickel defense. 3rd and 9. The give is Mack. Mack just gets back to the 4-yard line, and everybody's there to greet him and ride him out. So the Wranglers now starting to ride the beef and take control of emotions and also of the football game.
You feel it with the emotional energy of this crowd right now. You feel it along the sideline with George Allen. It seems like a little slump along the sidelines with Los Angeles.
George Allen is the kind of coach that relies heavily on emotion. Psycho-cybernetics, positive thinking.
You were with him in training camp. You know the man. You know what he believes in. Fundamentals.
Jeff Partridge backed all the way to the back line. Needs to get a boomer out of here. It's a high punt, not particularly long. It'll be taken by Eddie Brown. And Eddie Brown returns it to the 43-yard line. There is a flag, and Partridge is down. He's just now getting up. So Los Angeles may have gotten a break. A 39-yard punt. Partridge is waiting for the call. Looked like Nick Epps may have roughed the kicker.
Watch for number 91, Nick Epps, as he circles to the outside and closes in on Jeff Partridge. He comes along right there and makes contact with the right leg of Partridge as Partridge was just finishing his kick there.
So the Express will get a break.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness on the return. Number 20 is declined. Running into the kicker. Number 91, defense, is accepted. 1st down.
Another angle here as you watch number 91, Nick Epps, close in on Partridge. He gets his hands up, but then he can't stop his momentum, and he runs into the right leg and knocks Partridge over.
So it gives the Express a 1st down and the ball on the 9. We just talked about mistake-free football. That won't make any coach happy. Nelson gets a block out to the 15-yard line. 8 minutes, 50 seconds remaining, 3rd period. L.A. leads by 3.
And you know the emphasis that George Allen places on special teams. He was the first coach to ever hire a full-time assistant to handle special teams. That was Dick Vermeil back in 1969.
Nelson now has 17 carries, 72 yards. They gave him 6 yards on that one. It'll be 2nd and 4.
Bob Lord is the special teams coach for George now.
Young to Nelson. Nelson is nailed by Bruce Laird, and he's not going to get up. John Lee made initial contact, but it was Bruce Laird who really put the lick on him and may have kept him on the ground.
Motion by Tony Bodie. Hand off to Kevin Nelson. Lee gets the first hit around the neck, but that's the one coming up that hurts right there. Bruce Laird, number 40, came in. It looked like he speared Kevin Nelson.
That could have very easily been a flag. You're not allowed to use the helmet as a weapon. Spearing is illegal. That was a spear. The longtime veteran from the Baltimore Colts, Bruce Laird. So with timeout on the field, we'll take one as well with our score 17-14.
Off the left side on the blast play goes Kevin Nelson. John Lee, number 64, gets the initial hit. But here comes Bruce Laird, number 40. And again, I'm going to say it, Tim, I think that is a flagrant violation of the rules. It looked like he speared Kevin Nelson. That's the kind of thing that can cause serious injury.
It can do that. And right now, the running back situation has been severely depleted on the Los Angeles side of the field. Nelson leaves the ball game. Mel Gray broke his arm last week. He's out. Kevin Mack is in the ball game, 74 yards on 10 carries. And Kirby Warren will have to play now. He has played tonight for the first time this year and carried the football. Don't forget the winner of this game advances to the championship game next week in Tampa, Florida. And they will play the winner of tomorrow's Eastern Conference Championship game. That's between Birmingham and Philadelphia from Franklin Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. ABC Sports will show you that game as well. 3rd and 4, the ball on the 15. Play action. Young has the corner and takes it. He's got room for the first down and runs out of bounds.
You see both the quickness and the speed of quarterback Steve Young on that play as he improvised. Play action fake. Now he's going to bootleg out to his left. He's looking to pass first. Now he sees an open area, and this is what he does so effectively. Moves upfield and wisely goes for the out-of-bounds marker. He's improved a lot in the last 6 weeks. He's starting to run more like a quarterback and less like a running back. 2 carries now for Steve for 24 yards.
Steve Young, the rookie out of Brigham Young, and a descendant of Brigham Young. Great-great-great-grandson. Big play for momentum. They give Los Angeles a first down on the 23. Steve Young going deep, has a man open, and it's incomplete, intended for Dwayne Gunn. Now Dwayne Gunn is down and not getting up.
Looks like an injury to Gunn's left leg right there, as Steve Young threw the fly pattern along the left sideline. With a high looping trajectory, the ball was thrown out of bounds, so this would have been a needless injury.
He had a couple of steps on Lupe Sanchez.
Here's the fly pattern. All he does, make a little move to the inside, back to the outside. There's the aforementioned 2 steps. Steve could have thrown this ball a little bit longer and to the inside, and it would have been catchable. Here's where the injury occurs. See that? Now see, he comes up holding his left leg. See right there, Tim?
Freddie Scott, Malcolm Moore, the wide receivers to the same side. This is Kevin Mack. Looks for a block on the corner to turn the corner. Can't do it. Steps out of bounds, and Jim Fawnhorst is there to greet him. Working on the knee of Dwayne Gunn. 3rd down and 10. Young. Dangerous pass into coverage. Intended for Malcolm Moore. Luther Bradley had it. Lance Shields was there. And it was poorly thrown.
You're absolutely right. He forces this ball into double coverage. Malcolm Moore, the wide receiver on the right, runs a hook pattern, and watch both men. Shields has one shot. No, Shields has the best shot at it. Lance Shields, number 22, had a clear shot at the ball, and he would have had a run at the end zone.
So Jeff Partridge, who the last time was rough, gets this one away. It's a high spiraling punt, and Eddie Brown will take it on the 31-yard line. Eddie Brown picks up a wall, cuts against the grain. Inside, bounces outside to the 44-yard line before he's finally stopped. Eddie Brown, 31 years old, longtime Washington Redskin. He's been with George Allen. He's a gutty, gritty player and returns that 44-yard punt in good field position for Arizona. 6 minutes, 59 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Arizona has the football. Kevin Long, left side, picks up 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Well, LA's getting banged up. Let's go down for a report on that with Ted Dawson.
Thank you very much, Tim. This looks like a segment of General Hospital here. Dwayne Gunn's got an ice pack here on his left knee, but Dwayne says he's going to be ready to go back in. About 10 yards over this way, JoJo Townsend has a big ice bag on his right knee. He probably won't go back in the ball game. Kevin Nelson has been taken to the dressing room. So the LA offense very, very banged up.
2nd and 6 from the 44-yard line. Spencer and Long are the setbacks. Willis and Johnson, the receivers, to the bottom of the screen. This is Spencer with 2 touchdowns tonight. Takes it into LA territory.
This is a crucial defensive series for the Los Angeles Express right now, Tim, because we've been talking about how the momentum seems to have changed here in the third quarter, and that Arizona seems much more in control of the football game than they did in the first half. Right now, they have excellent field position.
The Central Division teams have all been eliminated now. It's only LA and Arizona, both of the Pacific Division, vying for the chance to go to Tampa Bay for the USFL Championship. Doug Dennison and Alan Clark come into the ball game. Larry Douglas is in as well. Spencer and Long come out. 3rd and 4. Landry throws complete. First down to Alan Clark.
These are the pass cuts that Greg Landry works best, I think, Tim. The intermediate routes. Alan Clark to the flat. He's tackled right there by number 53. That's Danny Rich out of Weber State. Clark, who you see, is a good one out of northern Arizona as a part-time player.
That graphic said it was his first reception of the year, which is not the case. He had 2 last week for 43 yards. This is first down. Landry drills it across the middle. It's intercepted by Los Angeles. This is Wyman Henderson to midfield. Cuts across the grain. He gets to the 47-yard line. So Landry throws the interception. Henderson makes the catch and takes it back into Arizona territory.
So once again, the defensive secondary of the Los Angeles Express comes up with a big play against Arizona. Remember, it was Troy West that came up with that big play in a ball game earlier this season. The ball was underthrown there by Landry, who was aiming for his wide receiver, and that's perfect position by number 22, Wyman Henderson, out of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Trumaine Johnson is the intended target, and you see that Trumaine is about to cut in front there, and it looks like it's a perfect pass, but the ball was slightly underthrown into the hands of Wyman Henderson.
Broken play. Steve Young goes down. I don't know how Johnson missed it. Looked like it went right through his arm. Henderson's return was 28 yards. They mark it all the way down to the 30-yard line. Here's the call.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 40. First down.
That's Bruce Laird again, the man who nailed Kevin Nelson earlier. Los Angeles banged up. No question about that fact. You're looking at Wyman Henderson after that 28-yard return. Getting iced down on the bench, trying to catch his breath. 1st and 10 from the 30. Steve Young across the middle. David Hurst, he can't hold on. Should have had it. He heard footsteps.
Footsteps in the fog.
I think heat's being a factor now as we come down late into the third quarter. To 2nd and 10. Steve Young has pressure. They come with a blitz, and he'll be sacked. Ed Smith, the linebacker, came through. Opened the door for Wilbur Young and Carl Lorch and the rest. of the Arizona Wrangler defense, ranked number 1 in the USFL.
Pressure and containment, two factors that would be very important tonight. They knew that in trying to curtail Steve Young. Ed Smith out of Vanderbilt, the linebacker, is right through there. So is Carl Lorch, number 71. Smith, I think, Tim, is probably their most active linebacker. Stan White, of course, is the most publicized, most experienced, but Stan White is a good one. I mean, Ed Smith.
No question about it. Smith led the team with 12 tackles. In the last ball game, this is Young on 3rd and 19. Again, there's pressure, and Young will be sacked again. It's Joe Ehrman out of Syracuse. The 3rd sack on Young tonight.
They have been pressuring him all night long. Because of that, his numbers are unimpressive. 3 of 15 now in the passing department for only 46 yards.
And listen to this crowd.
They're known as the R-men, as rush men, and that's what they do best. Throughout the season they have done it. They served notice in the first game of the year, Tim, that we covered here. Sacked Fred Bisson 12 times.
That's Big Joe Ehrman. Well, they're so experienced, those down linemen. They play games up front. They'll X on you. They'll show you some different looks. They'll move around. They'll try to confuse you. Partridge puts a skyscraper up, but it gets an Arizona bounce into the end zone. Touchback, bring it out to the 20. Well, he got his leg into it. 51 yards in all. But he couldn't hit the corner. So it goes through. They'll bring it out to the 20.
Arizona, as we mentioned, has consistently led the league in quarterback sacks, starting with that sensational game where they got to Fred Bisson 12 times. John Lee had 6 sacks of Fred in that game. They kept it up throughout the season and finished up with a total of 73 sacks on the year.
Landry reads the defense. Hits a zone. The give inside the long. Not much there. George Brett, leading vote getter in the American League. I like his style. Tim Spencer, right side, gets a block, turns the corner, explodes for the first down. We talked about his acceleration. There, he showed it to you.
Danny Rich does a good job of reading the play here, but then watch what happens. He overruns it. Good job of blocking there. Kevin Long out in front. Good move there by Spencer as he cuts back.
A linebacker has to play the ball carrier inside out. He has to use the sideline like another player. You always have Johnny sideline there to box him in. Play him inside out and make the tackle. First down, Landry. Overthrows his tight end, Ricker. Well, he was going on the long pass pattern, the post. Again, Los Angeles was in a basic zone, rolled back to safety, and put the pressure on Ricker.
Danny Rich running step for step here with Ricker, the tight end. This is one of the mismatches that you hope to create. Now, you played the linebacker position yourself, as you just noted, spoke with authority on it. What does that feel like when you have to cover a tight end step for step?
Well, that wasn't man coverage, although it looked like it. He went back to his hook zone. When the back came by him, he went with him. You saw the free safety and the cornerback on that side playing zone came in to help. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 33. Spencer, good move, juke step, back up to the 35-yard line.
So the tandem of Long and Spencer that we talked about earlier, a tandem that has become the first in professional football history to rush for 1,000 yards in 2 consecutive seasons going right to work.
Los Angeles leads by 3 with 1:39 remaining in the 3rd quarter, but the second half, quite frankly, has been dominated by Arizona.
Spencer 59 yards, Long 30 tonight.
LA rolls up in a man defense now. They've got a man open. It's Alan Clark with great speed to the 30, to the 22-yard line. So Arizona comes up with a big play to Alan Clark.
Alan Clark, who like Doug Dennison, is a spot player coming out of the backfield. I like the way Landry uses these circle fly routes. Straight drop back, double circle action, 5-man pattern. He's wide open in the middle there. He gets into one of the open areas of zone coverage, and now it's a little dancing around, foot race. Troy West chasing him down there, number 47.
44-yard pickup. It looked like Los Angeles confused itself defensively. Came up, rolled up, showed man, then dropped back into his zone too late. Alan Clark did not catch a pass all year. Now he has 4 for 92 yards in 2 games. This pass almost intercepted. It was intended for Trumaine Johnson. Edward Scott was the man who had his hands on the football.
Intended for number 2, Trumaine Johnson.
That's a play that's been very effective for Trumaine Johnson. Quick fake into the line and then a deep slant in route. Again, it's Grambling covering Grambling. Trumaine Johnson covered by Edward Scott, the cornerback. Ball's thrown a little low, Tim, and could have been a little more out front of Trumaine.
Edward Scott, the numbers on him. Landry now 8 for 19, 142 yards. Second and 10 from the 20. Landry across the middle, complete to the 10. Kevin Long. They're working on the linebackers.
Again, I think this is what Greg Landry does best. 5-man patterns, double circle, working on the linebackers right there. Danny Rich is the man on the coverage as Kevin Long just hooks after circling out of the backfield. 11 yards on the pickup.
It'll give them first and goal from the 9. 37 seconds remain in the third quarter. The Western Conference Championship game. LA leads by 3. Landry to Long, to the 5, to the 2, to the 1-yard line.
Taylor and Thayer on the left side as we look at the Lady Wranglers there moments ago. Kevin Long is the ball carrier. Straight ahead blocking. See this? No finesse. Straight ahead. Everybody zones it. He just picks his way. Breaks the tackle right there. That's Aaron Mitchell. He carries him forward to the 1-yard line.
And that'll be all for the first quarter, or the third quarter rather. United States Football League, Western Conference Championship. LA and Arizona will continue after this message and a word from our local station. Second and goal. The give, inside, nothing there. Tim Spencer is nailed immediately by Georgia Chica.
Tim, it's been the kind of close, physical seesaw game that we expected. Very competitive matchup tonight. Both these teams wanted each other. You know, they asked after the games and they said that's who they wanted. Great rivalry that's developed here in the Pacific Division.
Third and goal for Arizona. This drive set up by a 44-yard catch by Alan Clark. Everybody in tight. Again, he doesn't get in. Second effort gets it. Long second effort scores for Arizona. Defensively, the down lineman penetrated. The linebackers filled. He was nailed at the 1, but his extra effort got him the score.
The hit initially by number 71, Dewey Forte, appears to stop Kevin Long. See that right there? Just as you said, they were up there filling. But there's the second effort that gets him into the end zone. The ball must break the plane of the goal line. It does that and more.
Frank Corral, 63 of 66 extra points. This one's good. It's a 21-17 Arizona lead. Alan Clark's 44-yard catch set it up. Kevin Long did the rest. He's a bull.
A ground level angle here shows you what we just talked about. Here's the contact, and you see the second effort here as Kevin Long reaches out and gets the ball over the goal line. Kevin Turner and Dewey Forte were the ones who shut it down initially. This man is a bull.
Well, Arizona seems to be well in control here. L.A. trying to hang tough. Fatigue now becoming a factor. Take a look at some of the numbers of the last quarter.
Well, you've heard that statistics can be misleading, but I've said right along that the key to this game, the turnovers in the game and the total yards. Look how Arizona now has taken charge, and they dominate in total yards, 247 to 196. Los Angeles, however, still leads in time of possession, mostly based on what they did in the first half. Now, those passing statistics, Steve Young, 16 yards. He's been sacked 3 times for minus 30 yards. He's 3 of 15 in the passing department for 46. So he has 16 net yards passing to Greg Landry's 148.
That tells the tale and sets the stage for the last 14 minutes and 20 seconds of the ball game. Tony Bodie will take the kick, straddling the goal line. Tony Bodie has the corner if he can break a tackle. Now the pursuit comes and the flags fly. There is a penalty. Good coverage by the Arizona special team. And Tony Bodie gets up, but there's another L.A. player injured. Derek Kennard is the man that's still down, big number 7. He had a Nevada Reno.
So in this physical game, the Express are getting the worst of it right now.
Well, I believe it'll be a clip. They'll mark it back. Here's Burl Sorgren's call.
On the return, an illegal block in the back. Number 55 on the return team. First down, timeout.
So the clip is on Sam Norris. L.A. has now punted 3 times tonight, all in the third quarter. Dwayne Gunn now into the ball game as a wide receiver for the Express. The give straight ahead to Kevin Mack, who rolls outside, takes Lupe Sanchez, and Lance Shields out with him.
Kevin Mack, who had the best single-game rushing effort earlier this season in Los Angeles Express history, is having another big night tonight. 12 carries, 83 yards on the night for Kevin Mack.
This illustrates, Cupper, what I was talking about. Los Angeles has been non-existent offensively in the second half. Again, it's Kevin Mack, Fawn Horse, John Lee, Kit Lathrop, all there to take him down quickly.
Injuries certainly have been a factor. Dwayne Gunn was out a while ago. We talked about that. Here's JoJo Townsell, who is not expected to return to the football game. Ice pack on the right knee. That's a look at the x-rays. Can you read x-rays, Dr. Brandt?
No chance.
I want to take this opportunity to wish you and your wife, Janet, happy anniversary, Timmy.
Thanks, Cupper.
You know, we started here in Arizona on your birthday, game 1. Here we are 21 weeks later. Happy anniversary.
After 11 years. Steve Young on 3rd and 3 in trouble again. Looking for the sideline. He gets there. But a big loss, and they'll have to punt.
And you said it moments ago, the Wranglers have been completely in charge of this second half. It's been like 2 different football games.
These 2 clubs have met twice this year. They split. Both have won 6 of their last 7 games. Both ended the regular season with 10-8 records. But right now, the story in this game, Steve Young, 4 sacks, minus 36 yards.
That one was for 6 yards, led by Lathrop and Lee. Part of a group known as the R-Men. R as in rush.
All 3 of those punts came in the second half. Partridge gets off a pretty good punt. Eddie Brown will take it at midfield. The wall's set up, the blocks are coming, and Eddie Brown gets back to the 45-yard line. So, it was a 41-yard punt, a 5-yard return. And Arizona gets the football back with the lead. This is Kevin Long, sidestep, gets a block from Tremaine Johnson. Gets to the corner, but it's filled nicely by Edward Scott, the cornerback. John Lee, an integral part of this ball game, is standing by now with Ted Dawson.
Thank you, Tim. John Lee, who just chased Steve Young out of bounds. What is the difference in this half between now and the first half when it looked like the Express offensive line was dominating?
Well, I really couldn't say. It looks like the momentum has shifted a little bit.
Are they out of shape? Are they?
I wouldn't say they're out of shape. I'd say it's having an effect on them. I wouldn't say they're out of shape, but they are a little bit slower than they were.
That's the difference, Timmy.
2nd and 7 from the 42. Inside give. This is Spencer. Spencer inside the 20, or the 30 rather, to the 27. You know, Lee Grosskopf, I think the big factor now is the triple overtime game last week. L.A. now looks fatigued. They look like they're tired. They played the longest game in football history last weekend. They had a light week trying to regain some of the strength, get their legs back under them, but right now it looks like they are fatigued.
I totally agree with you. They have now played 11 quarters of football in the last 2 weeks.
Tim Spencer, 73 yards, 13 carries. That one for 15 yards. The ball is now on the 28. First down, long count by Landry. Looks like he calls an audible, gives it inside. This is Long. Long down to the 21-yard line, where Dwight Drain makes the tackle.
What did you say George told you? Pride and patience?
Pride, patience, and poise. The clock continues to roll. It is now at 10 minutes and 45 seconds. The winner of this game goes on to Tampa Bay for the league championship. This is the 9th time in his 14 seasons as head coach that George Allen has made the playoffs. Spencer bounces outside, 15, to the 10, to the 7-yard line.
We talked about the tandem of Spencer and Long and how they complement each other. They block for one another. Lead block by Kevin Long. Lets Spencer bounce to the outside. He races with Dwight Drain, number 33. Drain finally drags him down after a gain of 14 yards, and that gives Spencer 88 yards in 14 carries on the night. Of course, he came into tonight's game with 1,212 yards on the season.
Mac Boatner comes into the ball game with Doug Dennison. It's 1st and 7, 1st and goal at the 7. Boatner inside the 5 to the 2-yard line.
They are just pounding on the Express right now.
John Hadel did everything to try to get the legs back of this team. Had light practices this week. Tried to heal the wounded and regain some life into the time-wearied legs of his players. With fatigue comes injury, and the Express have had their share this evening.
Greg Landry calls timeout. Apparently he saw something defensively he didn't like. Remember, he calls his own plays. 80 to 90% of the plays are called by that man, Greg Landry. Occasionally a play will be sent in either by Roman Gabriel or one of the other assistants, but for the most part, Landry is like a coach on the field. He's in charge out there.
Earlier this season, when Arizona was struggling, Landry was benched for 2 games by George Allen in an effort to shake things up, a move which really upset Greg, and he told George so. I think the rest did him good, though, physically.
Alan Risher replaced Landry for 2.5 games. Well, Risher was 1 and 2 for 3 games. During that time, it gave Landry a rest, time to look things over, reassess. But when Landry came back, the team started winning, and they kept winning.
5 straight wins. You know, Greg was signed by George Allen back in August 12, 1982, so he was the first NFL player to sign with the United States Football League. All-Pro in 1971, 97 touchdown passes during his NFL career, named NFC Comeback Player of the Year in 76.
And in the 12th game last year, he went down with a very serious injury. We mentioned earlier he might become Comeback Player of the Year for the second time based on what he has done in 1984.
There are the numbers on Landry tonight. It is second and goal from the 3. 9 minutes, 51 seconds remain. The give and the play. Outstanding play on the defense by James Robinson. He's out of Clemson, and he's a load. 6'5", 290-pounder.
He's a load and a half. Tim Spencer, right side. Lead blocked by Long. Here comes James Robinson. How do you do?
They bring up third and goal from the 5 now. Quick snap, Landry. Spencer, touchdown!
Arizona drive, dominating with the run, but culminating with the pass. Quick count. The linemen are still up. Flat route by Tim Spencer, number 46. All he has to do is outrun the linebacker and then beat the cornerback into the end zone. That culminates a drive that took 3 minutes, 45 seconds and went 45 yards. From another angle, you see that Spencer beats the linebacker and then the cornerback and takes the pass on the dead run from Landry.
Corral kicks the extra point. I think the key to the play, while the defense was still trying to get set, still trying to communicate audibly. It was a quick count. They got the ball out quickly, and the corner was open. 28-17, Arizona.
They have dominated the second half just as Los Angeles dominated the first half. Watch what Tim Brandt was just mentioning about the quick count as we look again at the previous touchdown. See how quickly that quick count, and the linebackers are out of position. That gives Tim Spencer just a slight lead against the linebacker and the cornerback, number 53, Danny Rich, and number 22, Wyman Henderson. The quick count is what did it.
Still plenty of time for the youngster, Steve Young. He's 3 of 15, 46 yards. He's missed his last 7 passes. 0 for 4 in this half. Young throws back. This is Tony Bodie. If he had gotten the block, he had the corner and plenty of yardage. Oh, did he have some daylight in front of him, but the block was missed out in front of him, and Ed Smith made the play. Mike Ruther, the man who was leading the play, will look at those films and just get sick. Had he made his block, Bodie was off to the races.
That's right, because it would have sprung him to the outside, and he had daylight there.
2nd and 6 from the 24-yard line. Dwayne Gunn to the bottom of the screen. Malcolm Moore to the top. Young, pressure, both sides, steps up into the pocket and throws an interception. The ball was intercepted by Jim Farnhorst. Who is signed with the San Francisco 49ers to play there next season, makes the interception.
Jim, who will be joining his brother Keith with the 49ers, makes what might be the biggest turnover of the year for the Wranglers, because this might sew it up. That ball should not have been thrown by Steve Young. He was aiming for David Hersey, but Farnhorst was in front of Hersey the entire time. Another angle, and you see Steve Young setting up at 7 yards, moves forward in the pocket. Hersey is the target, but there's Farnhorst. He was there right along.
The LA defense has to come up with a big play now. It has to make a turnover. It has to force the ball back to the offensive unit with 8 minutes left. Big gainer, Kevin Long. First down, Wranglers.
We like to intellectualize football a lot, Timmy, but it really gets down to this: controlling and dominating the line of scrimmage. See the hole there? The Kevin Mack, number 33. A good one. Right over right guard. Kevin Long, I mean.
The wheels are coming off for Los Angeles. Long a little bit shaken up.
13 carries, 60 yards now for that man out of South Carolina, Kevin Long.
Replaced by Mac Boatner, 43. Boatner's the lead back for Spencer. And Spencer rambles down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Well, if you're going to have to pick one element, we've talked about the trenches and what's going on down there, but here is a story in itself. Steve Young, the rookie, 17 attempts, just 4 completions. Greg Landry, the 17-year NFL veteran, 21 attempts, 10 completions rather, a touchdown, 158 yards.
A report from the sidelines, Tim. Kevin Long has injured his Achilles tendon. We will keep you apprised of that injury as we get reports. Tim Spencer, what a night he's having. 16 carries, 96 yards, and 2 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns.
If I'm on the defense now, I've got to be thinking turnover. I've got to make something happen quickly. Got to force the turnover. Make the big play. First and 10 from the 14. Time now a factor for the Young Express. Boatner. Not much.
Howard Carson, the man who got the hit. You mentioned it, and I'm going to say it again. I think that game last week took it out of the Express. This is the 11th quarter of football they've played in the last 7 days. The longest game in the history of professional football. It went 93 minutes, 33 seconds. Previous longest was 82 minutes, 40 seconds. Game on Christmas Day between Kansas City and Miami.
Second and 9, LA shows blitz. Mix up in the backfield. Boatner. This is Landry. Landry down inside the 5. Los Angeles showed blitz. Landry called an audible. There was a mix-up in the backfield. When he bounced off Boatner, the hole was open.
Greg Landry on a broken play right here. When things go right, things go right. He runs like an ox right here. Look at this.
In 1971, he set an NFL record with 530 yards running, 9 touchdowns rushing. He told me the other day, when he looks at Steve Young, he thinks of himself back in the early 70s with legs under him. That time, Landry looked like a rookie. Longest run of the year for Landry. Well, not quite a rookie.
Amazing 17-year career. You know, a lot of people had written off these Arizona Wranglers about midseason. George Allen came under fire. There was a rumor that Allen was on his way out and that Frank Kush was coming back here to Arizona.
Ironically, all those years for Greg Landry as a quarterback, this is only the 2nd season that he's been in a playoff game. Boatner spins, turns, drives his way to the 3. The other time Landry went to the playoffs, it was in the early 70s. The Detroit Lions lost to the Dallas Cowboys 5-0. Landry was caught for a safety. Kevin Long now with Ted Dawson.
Kevin Long, it's a big, huge ice pack on the Achilles tendon. Are you definitely out for the game?
No, I've been had this injury for about 3 weeks, and I just irritated on that last long run I made. I tried to make a cut on the safety with the back of my heel, and it just sort of irritated, so I had to come out and let it cool down for a few minutes.
That's the story, Tim.
All right, Ted, a score here for Arizona, I think, could just about ice this game. It's 28-17. Plenty of time left on the clock with 4:35, but Los Angeles needs the big play. Well, that graphic tells the story. Arizona 210 total yards second half. Los Angeles -1. And that man Steve Young is just itching to get back onto the football field because statistically this is his worst game as a professional.
You know, it's been like in two entirely different football games. LA was really pounding on Arizona with their running game in the first half. Things have totally turned around here in the second half.
First and goal from the 3. Dennison in motion. The give. And Spencer is taken down by James Robinson at the 5.
George Allen said at the beginning of the season, "We will not lose. I won't allow it." Controversial statement, but maybe it's going to all turn out.
Well, it was a unique season for George Allen. Frustrating at times, rewarding now. Couldn't win 2 games in a row until week number 16. Now they've taken 5 straight.
No secret about that man. He believes defense is the key to winning. He likes veteran performers.
A master of detail, a builder of successful programs. It's second and goal from the 5. Right side, Spencer to the 5, and that'll be all. So he gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and they'll mark it there.
Good pursuit by the middle linebacker, Howard Carson, that time in the 4-3 alignment, as he chased Spencer, strung the play out, and then got a good hit.
Spencer's slow getting up. These players now like prize fighters in the 14th and 15th round. They're tired. That's David Huffman out of Notre Dame. The attendance tonight, 33,188. The first professional playoff game played in the state of Arizona.
David Huffman out of Notre Dame, who you just talked about, Tim, is 6'7", 255 pounds. And when you're carrying that kind of weight around on a night like this, you're going to get tired. Plus, he's been working. The whole front line's been working.
Banged up his shoulder a little bit on that. Had an excellent game last week against Houston's Tony Fitzpatrick. Well, a touchdown here could ice it. And it would be Arizona going on to the championship game next week to play either Birmingham or Philadelphia. And that will be decided tomorrow. Eastern Conference Championship game from Franklin Field in Philly. Keith Jackson, Lynn Swan, Mike Adamley all there watching this game tonight. They'll be broadcasting the game and bringing it to you tomorrow on ABC's USFL coverage.
Another timeout called by Greg Landry there. Didn't like what he saw defensively.
So we've got 2 minutes and 58 seconds remaining in the ball game from Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. Arizona leads at 28-17. We'll be right back.
Tim, with a big third down play here, I think you can look for some type of trap play. They've been successful with that.
Well, it's the kind of play that could ice this ball game. It's third and goal from the 5. Long count by Landry. Give inside is Bodner. Touchdown on the trap play. You called it. Mac Bodner's first touchdown of the year, the second in his career, and that should just about be all for the LA Express.
This is a classic trap play. They call this 23 trap, Tim. Just a quick hitter right up the middle. Guard pulls, and it's wide open. You know, that's a clinic. That's sometimes so effective down close to the goal line. Watch the hole open up as we look from another angle. The guard pulls, center blocks back. The hole is right there. I think we could have gone through that one.
Trap block, just simply influence blocks. You try to crisscross, block the man from the blind side, open the hole, show misdirection, and Frank Corral extra point is good. Arizona's third touchdown this quarter. The wheels have fallen off for Los Angeles, and there's no question about it in my mind. The 3 overtime game last week at the LA Coliseum, the longest game in professional football history, took something out of this young Express football team.
This is the way you draw it up on the chalkboard. Crisscross right there. Misdirection. Trap play. That's about as perfect a trap as I've seen down by the goal line in some time. The thing about it is when you open it up down there, there's nobody home in the secondary, so there's a gigantic opening. And when it works, it sometimes works just like that.
George Allen, who faced a great deal of adversity this year. You mentioned that there were rumors of his job being on the line, that Ted Dietrich was not happy with the performance. The pressure was on, and he responded. Turned things around quickly. George Allen, the only coach in pro football history with more than 100 wins without ever having suffered a losing season. The 9th time in his 14 seasons as head coach that George has made the playoffs. In 1972, George Allen took the Washington Redskins to the Super Bowl against Miami. He lost that one. But this year he gets another chance. Because now I think it's all but set. Arizona advances to Tampa Bay for the second USFL championship game. And that man right there is going for the title.
You're right. I think this one's in the history books.
An unnecessary roughness penalty has moved the ball on the kick up to the 50-yard line. So now Frank Corral just has a chip shot on the kickoff. He just punches it, still knocks it through the upright into the end zone. Into the stands! Let's go downstairs now to Ted Dawson.
Thank you very much, Tim. Greg Landry, who has totally turned this game around in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. What did it, Greg?
Well, I think it was just the fact that we were able to get some momentum going. Tim Spencer and Kevin Long ran very well, and our offensive line, I think their momentum, their conditioning really paid off here in the fourth period. I think our offensive line has really done an excellent job of blocking.
You made the point to me that you think that you were in better condition because you practice in this kind of weather all the time.
Well, we practice in the evening because of the sun in the daytime, and I think we're more used to this conditions than LA is right now.
You ready for the title game?
We're ready. I'm going to wait 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and we'll be ready.
Greg Landry, who has turned it around in the fourth quarter. Timmy?
Shotgun formation, Young incomplete. Intended for Dwayne Gunn. Landry, 37 years old. He's as old as the snake, Stabler.
Snake Stabler. They have equal amounts of gray hair. Now, I think Snake's a little grayer. That's an occupational hazard for quarterbacks. Touch the hat now, George. Clap the hands, lick the fingers, touch the hat.
This will be 2nd and 10 from the 20. 2 minutes, 46 seconds left. Again, there's pressure on Young, and he has to roll out of there quickly. Throw across his body, and Malcolm Moore can't hold on to the football. I think that we should talk about Los Angeles. Coming into this game, 11-8 record. John Hadel, in his rookie season as head coach, took this team from 3-6 with new players seemingly every week. He molded the unit despite pressure from the owner, Bill Oldenburg, won the division title, certainly a candidate for Coach of the Year. 43 years old, and what a job he's done with the Los Angeles Express.
Steve Young having his worst night as a professional, 4 of 19 for 51 yards. Previously, his worst game was against Oklahoma, 8 of 17 for 69 yards with 2 interceptions that day. We covered that game.
3rd and 10. Young, again under pressure, rifles the ball, and it's complete. This is Scott to the 50, 45 to the 43-yard line. Jim Moore has been named Coach of the Year in one poll. There still are 3 others, I do believe, and I would put my vote on John Hadel.
Freddie Scott out of Amherst, who is the 4th leading receiver in Detroit Lions history. Watch this. He runs like an antelope here. Inside, outside. Good move there. Well, it would take a miracle, but there have been miracles in professional football. This is what you call Hail Mary time.
39-yard pickup. It'll be 1st and 10. The ball on the 41. Young drills it across the middle, and it's complete. To the 25-yard line goes Dwayne Gunn. Well, I don't think it's right to make Steve Young the GOAT.
Absolutely not. Well, for one thing, he's had about 3 or 4 passes dropped, and statistics have never shown that. There has never been a stat for drop passes. High snap, first down. Young again drills the ball, and it's almost intercepted. Well, Ed Smith had those great big bear paws up there. And we have the 2-minute warning. So Steve Young will talk things over with John Hadel, and we'll be back for the conclusion of the Western Conference Championship game. It's 35-17, but there's no quit in this Los Angeles team. The Express down to the 26-yard line, battling to get back on the scoreboard. The inside give to Kevin Mack. I want to take this opportunity to thank our guys up here in the booth that took care of us all year. Kelly Hayes, our spotter, George Hill, our statistician, and what a job they've done. And I want to thank you, Lee Groscup. Tim, I want to congratulate you on your first full season of play-by-play work on USFL football. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Steve Young spins out of trouble, picks up a block, throws deep. Is it a touchdown? Yes! David Hersey made the catch, and I don't know how he did it. Tremendous play, and there is no quit in this Los Angeles team.
Well, we were just talking about miracles. Maybe we're going to see one more.
Bruised and battered, Steve Young leaves.
Steve Young, who's playing with bad ribs, a bruised hip, a bad hand, scrambles, back to his left, back to his right. He throws deep. A leaping catch right there by number 81, David Hersey, the H-back out of Tulsa, a rookie. And believe it or not, the game isn't over.
No, it's not. It makes it 35-23 with 1 minute and 20 seconds left. Certainly, L.A. will go for 2.
And certainly you will see an onside kick.
Los Angeles has been extremely successful in 2-point conversions. As a matter of fact, they haven't missed one yet with Steve Young as the quarterback.
He's been perfect, 4 for 4.
Hersey, the motion man, goes and sets on the wing on the right side. Now he goes back in motion across the grain to position the linebackers. Again, Young is chased. This one is intercepted, so the 2-point conversion is no good.
Lupe Sanchez was the man who was covering David Hersey and broke up the play.
Take another look at the touchdown. Spectacular catch and great scramble by Young.
Talked about the escape dimension of Steve Young being his strongest point. Goes to his left first, and he gets away from John Lee, number 64. Number 63, Benson is chasing him. Now watch this. He sets up and throws deep to David Hersey, who's one of 3 receivers down in the end zone. A leaping catch right there. And I agree with you. I don't know how he ever came up with the ball. Tony Bodie was down there, along with Freddie Scott. So they ran a combination pattern, and it wound up on the right side as Steve Young scrambled back that way. Threw the ball up and got him a touchdown. The secret to onside kicking, Tim, is that you have to kick it with a good deal of touch. If you kick it a little too soft or a little too hard, it's not going to work.
Well, the sidewinder has an advantage, too, and they want to slice the top of the football to give it an end-over-end roll. Usually when a football does that, the spheroid will take a high bounce.
Tony Zendejas has been effective in doing that.
Everybody shifts. Here comes the onside.
You're right.
The end over end. There's the high bounce, and it goes out of bounds. There'll be a penalty. They'll move it back. Well, now tempers flare out of frustration as much as anything else. Both teams empty now. We've got ourselves a good old-fashioned Donnybrook.
Oh, my. This heavyweight fight is not over yet. We thought it would be that kind of night. These teams do not like each other very much at all. It's still going on. We got a fracas. Frank Giddens, number 76, all 310 pounds of him in there now.
I'll tell you what, some of those trainers and coaches without helmets on better be careful.
In the heat of the night.
Fatigue, frustration, and there could be the smartest man of the group, Zendejas. Kept his distance, had a ringside view.
I don't blame him.
Ted Walton, number 29, and David Howard were the men that started the whole fracas. They started to go after each other, and everybody else poured onto the field. Referees got into the thick of it. Boy, what a job they've done tonight. Keeping all the monkey business to a minimum in this heated rivalry. Crowd continues to chant, beat LA. This has been fun.
Beat LA on to Tampa Bay.
The Western Conference Championship in the United States Football League. Competition has improved this year. I think the top 5, 6 teams right now in the USFL can play competitively with the lower echelon of the NFL.
Disqualified, number 58 on the kicking team, number 48 on the kicking team, number 29 on the receiving team.
29 is Ted Walton, 58 is David Howard. We told you that. They were the two that really started this fracas. He also said number 48, but there's not a 48 on the roster.
I think he means simply 58 and 29.
Well, you know that guy wasn't in it. Don't forget, coming up next week on ABC's United States Football League Championship coverage, we've got it. Arizona in Tampa against the winner of tomorrow's game between Birmingham and Philadelphia. You take either one of those clubs, and it's going to be a good ball game.
Well, now you're assuming that Arizona has won this football game.
Well, we've got 1 minute and 20 seconds left. 35-23 is our score. It would take a miracle now. The onside kick goes 10 yards. It's caught, and it's down by Lance Shields. And again, tempers flare. Lance Shields is still down on the field. He's hurt. Both benches empty again. And this is totally unnecessary. It's been a well-played ball game until now. Get the players off the field.
Kevin Turner and Alan Clark got this one started. Look how they overload the left side here, Tim. Lance Shields, number 22, covers the ball. He's hit by about 6 Express players. Number 50 right there comes in with a foot.
Alan Clark, number 42, with a late hit on Major Turner.
Whoa.
So Turner comes out. And those two get after each other. Bruce Giesling, 58, jumps into the fracas.
You're right, it is totally unnecessary. It has been a good physical game, but there's no need for this.
These are two teams that have exemplified the word class all year. Young teams, professional teams, and right now, I think out of frustration, they are damaging that reputation just a bit. There is no place for that in sport.
This game was surrounded by controversy all week long, Tim. Because of that, I think it's finally come to a head here late in the fourth quarter.
On the kicking team, number 42 on the receiving team.
Alan Clark and Kevin Turner. You saw how it started. There's Kevin Turner. When Kevin Turner was with Washington, they called him Major Turner because in training camp, the Washington Post ran a story saying, Kevin Turner, the youngster, a major surprise. And all the players picked up on it, and he earned the name Major. Major Turner. Out of the ball game, he'll take the rest of the night off, rest of the season off.
Major Turner delivered some major punishment on that play.
Now they'll just try to protect their quarterback, Greg Landry. So Landry downs it. L.A. calls timeout. And the Express will not say die. What do you think, Lee Grosscup, about tomorrow's ball game?
Earlier in the year, I said that Birmingham was the class of the league at midseason, and right after that, Philadelphia blew them out. I don't think you're going to see a blowout this time. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think it'll be decided by anywhere from 3 to 7 points.
One thing Raleigh Dodge has Birmingham doing very well right now is mixing the plays, using Cribbs extremely well as a receiver and a runner. Leon Perry complements Cribbs with his blocking ability and running ability. And Cliff Stout has been playing extremely well. Now, he was listed as questionable for tomorrow's game with a bad shoulder. However, he says that he will, in fact, play. He'll be in the lineup.
We heard that same story last week, and he had a great game against Tampa Bay.
The defense led by Herbie Spencer, one of the more active linebackers in the league. Philadelphia, the best record over the last 2 years in the USFL. Only 2 losses this year. Kelvin Bryant, the key there. Chuck Bucina, the quarterback. And the doghouse defense. Let's go downstairs now. Ted Dawson, he's with a happy George Allen.
Thank you, Tim. George Allen, you're going to the USFL championship game. What, in your opinion, turned this game around?
Oh, I think our defense the second half shut them down, controlled them. They had 17 points the first half. We made a couple of adjustments, and we gave the offense good field position. Greg Landry, Tim Spencer.
What were those adjustments, George?
Oh, they ran from a 2 PI offense to a tight end offense, and they were making yardage, and we slanted our line. There's the strength of the formation. And Stan White called a good game. Special teams did a good job, so it was a team win, and we had to beat these guys because they were complaining about the heat. We thought we could beat them in the heat or beat them at night. Didn't make a difference when we played them.
George, congratulations. We'll see you in Tampa Bay. George Allen, Timmy, the head coach of the Arizona Wranglers.
A native of Grosse Pointe, Michigan, whose storied football career spans 4 decades. The coach of the Arizona Wranglers and the USFL Western Conference Championship. They talked about him earlier in the year, saying his job was in jeopardy, that Frank Kush would be the coach here in Arizona. I talked to George about that earlier this week. He said he couldn't think about that. He had to pass out all distractions, concentrate on winning football games, concentrate on turning things around. He did that. His team won the last 6 of its 7 ball games, came in here as the favorite, and stopped a very talented, very young Los Angeles Express. 35-23 is the final, so it'll be Arizona that moves on to Tampa Bay for the USFL championship game. Lee Grosscup, what do you think?
George took his team to the Super Bowl when he was with the Washington Redskins, and now he will take a team to the USFL championship here in 1984.